Excellent.
So
Excellent. Excellent. Oh, we got
I
Sher
would
here
like
too.
to read what I wrote so far.
Okay.
Hi,
Okay.
Sher.
Excellent. Brilliant. Hello, 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 Sher. Wonderful. Wonderful. Wonderful.
Um,
Oh, go
so
ahead. Go ahead.
first
Wonderful.
one is, what is a takeaway? When I initially thought of a takeaway, I thought it meant to take what I can get from a situation and learn from it only. Now that I have learned the various forms of a takeaway, I know now that I can not only take what I have learned and use it for my own understanding, but also can take what I learned and apply it to my
Exactly.
day-to-day life in all
Exactly.
forms of interactions. I
Exactly.
can make it my own and use it for my own benefit and possibly
Yes.
the benefit of others by sharing and
Yes.
implementing what I have been able to take away from said interaction. I
Yes.
can I can gain personal value out of each interaction when I utilize my ability to take what is important to the situation and myself, making it my own.
Yeah.
There
Yeah.
are three main
Wonderful.
types. There are three main types of takeaways. What is it
Yeah.
about my interactions? And I did this one in like italicized. What is it about my interactions that are considered meaningful to me? What brings
Yeah.
me personal value that I am or that I can put into appropriate application? And what is uh oh and what um see what can I put what personal value, okay, that I can put into appropriate application, and what about said interaction can I take to use for my own benefit? How can I
Yeah.
play this into my way of impeccability? Or
Wonderful.
put this
Yeah.
into my way
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
impeccability. But when I think about these questions, I can think of the most recent interaction I had with someone within my work, and it went like this: me to clients. So I have a couple of things to discuss with everyone. The first thing is we need to keep the windows shut at all times, especially in the winter. When we have windows open, it makes it harder for the house to heat up. And since we are in a 111-year-old historic house, the windows have not been updated recently, and they leak air which already makes the heater work harder. Um, the second thing is, I'm not going to blame anyone because it can be a fluke or from being mishandled, but either way, the lock on the deep freezer downstairs has clearly been broken. It is virtually impossible for that to happen when the screws are were in there tight. So it more so looks like someone lost their cool or tried to break into it. I'm also going by what it looks like and not what the supposed happening was. So I must report it as it seems to the average eye. Client one, don't tell Damien that it looks like it was broken into, because then we all will get into trouble. We don't want to deal with him. Me, well, if you know for a fact that it wasn't broken into, then there isn't anything you need to worry about. However, I'm going to say this. Even when Damien sees it, he's going to think the same thing that I see.
Yeah.
So either way, he isn't going to be happy. Client two, well, I don't want to pay for something that isn't my fault. Me, I understand that, and I wouldn't want to either. However, as residents here at ANDS, it is also your responsibility to help maintain the property and the integrity of said property. And since you
Yeah.
guys are the ones who are mainly down there, then it is the only logical interpretation of this situation. You are held just as responsible for this as staff would be. This matter
That's
isn't up for debate, and I'm going to do what I am required to do. End of story. Client
excellent.
one proceeds to try to argue with me, and I simply state, end of discussion, more assertively, and I walk away. My takeaway from that interaction is that those who talk first are the ones that are the guilty or that are guilty. I
Yeah.
also was able to be more assertive and not passive aggressive. I was able to see what the most likely story was, and I didn't allow room for persuasion. I was able to see a BMN and a master manipulator for who they are and not allow myself to stand down.
Yeah.
Once I had recognized what they were trying to do, I stayed steady and remained calm. I stayed firm in my decision and I didn't sway. They soon realized I wasn't going to give in and lie about the situation to my superior, and I was going to keep my firm decision,
Yeah.
and they backed off and didn't
Yeah.
bother to keep trying.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Meaningful takeaway. Once I have reached a level of understanding that my memories are deceptive, false, and that even my own memory has lapses. Therefore, finding the meaning of the interaction for myself and what I can obtain from it for usable application. This brings
Mm,
me to a fear I once had. The fear was that I would lose my memory. Now that I think about it, I realize the silliness of this fear. I find it
yeah,
silly because once I think about it, I am already having lapses in my own memory, and am only able to take what I remember and summarize it into what I can perceive it to be.
yeah,
That's it. That's all I was able to do right now.
yeah.
But I really like I took all of my notes that I wrote and I basically am summarizing it. Um, but also in the sense of I am doing my own, I do a little bit of the repeat back and then I do my own
That's
like personal takeaway, like what I can get from it
that's
personally.
the whole point of it. Exactly. That's the whole point of it. Yes. And also with a takeaway, uh, sometimes something of value will come that you take away from it that has nothing to do with the content or the experience. There's that kind of a leap, a jump, a connection
Yeah.
that's very cool. Yeah. So just be aware of that. And, we can create new understandings just simply because we're thinking about it and we're making that effort to come to some new understanding. It may have nothing to do with what we were thinking about, but something new comes because we're making that effort. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Very
and
cool. Very cool.
that's going to keep going like later on in my right now I'm just kind of doing like the different types of takeaways and then I will keep going with that. Um
Yeah.
and keep running with it. And right now I'm gonna more than likely end up um uh revising and adding before I
Excellent.
make the final post
Excellent.
and send out the final email for
Excellent.
it.
Excellent.
So
Quick point here on memory. Fear of memory loss is one of the most guaranteed self-fulfilling prophecies that you can have, or fears,
yeah,
right?
I know.
Because of the way the brain works, that emphasis makes it true, and you're in control of that. So we have to really reshift that and to say, it's not memory loss is not the issue. As we get older, we get more aware and we simply become more aware that we forget stuff. And that doesn't
Yep.
mean that we're forgetful, right? We're just more aware. I mean, when we were kids,
Hmm.
we forgot stuff all the time. I mean, for heaven's sake, when I was a kid, we got hidings for forgetting stuff. And some kids got hidings every day. They never learned to remember stuff. So,
Well, and that's
yeah,
why I find the silliness and that whole fear. And reason
exactly.
being is
Exactly.
because like I automatically already I'll put something down and forget where I put it.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
there's even things in my past that now I'm
Right.
I'm already like I don't remember everything anymore. I don't remember every detail as much. I don't, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah. Yeah.
to me, it is one of those things that um those are the things that I was like, no, I can't forget this happened. I can't forget the date of this. Did Cher have to leave?
Yeah. Yeah. She's got to take CJ to school.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But like it's refreshing for me because sorry, but sorry, not sorry. But losing the memory of certain aspects of my childhood is more relieving for me because of the simple fact that I've been able to take away the lessons and the values of those.
Well, one moment. There we go.
Okay.
Just my
Um,
alarm.
it's okay. I was able to take away the lessons and the values of those. However, I don't remember how it really truly felt. I don't remember
Yeah. Yeah.
how like the pain, like the amount of pain I went through anymore. Before it used to be like, yeah, I'm okay with it. I've come to accept it, but I still feel the pain. Now, I don't even feel really the pain of it anymore. I don't feel the negative emotions that are attached to it. Um,
Yeah.
like now when certain situations pop up, I feel a little bit of like, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, when I dealt with those two, I felt very and three actually. I felt very I started to feel angry. Like, how
Ah,
dare you even come at me sideways like that? Part of it was because I was overtired, my energy was low. And the other part is I had to use more energy, more reserved energy to be able to keep us, I mean, yeah, I did lose my shit at first. And then I finally was like, no, we're not doing this. Like, this is not how this
ah,
is going to go. You will not take over this whole situation. And then there was another person that came down and was like, and I knew this person from, the transitional, and he came down, he was like, try to use the stature on me and was like, you don't need to be yelling, blah, blah. I said, you can just shut the fuck up right now because I don't want to listen to you and your bullshit.
wow,
Like,
wonderful.
that's when I lost like, I started to lose my shit and I was overly emotional. And then after that, I was like, no. I mean, I took a deep breath and took a step back and I said, I exactly see. And I was thinking to myself, I told myself, I see exactly what they're trying to do and I'm not going to allow them to do it.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
And so then I calmed down and I was like, look, guys, I am the staff and I'm not just some peon like a regular tech. I do I do every position in this facility. I do every position in the other facility. I am everything and anything at this point. So here's the thing is that I'm going to say how it is shown, how it is seen, because those screws were snugly and tight put into that deep freeze. So therefore, when it is clear that it was forcibly taken out and that is how I'm going to describe that. Now, if you're not guilty, then you're not going to say anything about it. You're not going to be upset about it.
Yeah.
But if you are guilty of it, then therefore you're going to pay the price. And yeah, you guys are as a unit. So when one person messes up, everybody messes up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Was
therefore, you guys are
was
holding each
there
other accountable.
from the deep freeze?
So basically, not the lock itself, not the padlock itself, but the other part of the locking mechanism, like the little flap thing and
Yeah, the
the,
hasp. Yeah.
yeah. So that part, the screws were literally yanked out of
Yeah. Yeah.
the deep freeze. And I was like, this is not an okay thing. Like, no, we're not doing this. Well,
No, I mean
apparently,
stuff inside the deep freeze. Was there stuff missing that was
I
supposed to
don't
be?
know because I haven't been there in a while, but the thing is that I know specifically how snug that deep freeze was. So it looks like either somebody tried to break into it or somebody lost their shit.
Yeah.
Probably somebody who felt entitled and was not getting what they wanted in an appropriate manner. So they took it in their own hands. And there's a couple of people that I know that would have done something like that just out of spite.
Yeah.
One of them has this sense of self-entitlement.
Right.
Um,
Say not just spite, but self-importance or self-entitlement. Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
sometimes it's out of spite when they get pissed off at Damien. They'll do something
Right.
out of spite.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. It is very childish. Very, very childish. When I'm talking about these men, like I talk about
Well,
them in a fashion of
yeah.
they're still stuck mentally and emotionally, still stuck at the age that they first started using in.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's that superiority paradigm nonsense where they, it's to bring
Yep.
the other down to make themselves more superior.
Yep. And so that's why, like, I've learned the first ones to talk are the ones who are the guiltiest.
Or likely to be. Don't make it an absolute.
Well, no, but they're more likely to be more guilty
Right.
than
Right.
anything. And if you're going to argue with me on this
Yeah.
situation, then clearly you're not helping your situation anymore, you
Yeah.
know? And like, so the thing is that it could have been a staff member. It could have been a resident. And that's what I told him. I said, we don't know who did it. And I'm not pointing fingers. I'm not blaming blames. I'm just saying that it happened and it has to be reported. It easily could have been a staff member who did it out of anger,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? Um, and that's the thing is that like some people, like, and I'm like, I'm not blaming you guys, because guess what? Like I said, staff members are just as to blame as residents are.
Yeah.
Because if a staff member didn't lock that back door at night, somebody could have easily snuck in and went down there and messed with it. Especially if there's a staff member that's working and not paying attention as to what's going on.
Yeah.
You know? And so, like, I was able to, like, reiterate everything and then really let them know, and, like, he tried to argue, 2 of them tried to argue with me repeatedly, and I'm like, "You know what? I'm not discussing this anymore. We're done."
Yeah.
And they kept going, so I finally just walked away. I was like, "End of discussion. We're done. I said what I said. It's over."
You don't like it,
And
tough
then
luck.
I put Huh?
If you don't like it, tough luck.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we're not the Hilton Inn. Like,
Exactly.
this is
It's not a democracy.
no, it's not.
Yeah. 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 That's it. You
But
under our good graces, not yours.
Mhm.
So if it's unfair, tough shit.
And we don't
That's
have
the
to
price
accept
of
these
being
people
here.
in.
Exactly. If you don't like it, tough luck.
Yep.
It doesn't have to be fair. It is what it is. It might not be fair, but so what? It's
Yep,
just the price you're
exactly.
gonna have to pay for being here is to learn that life isn't always fair. That's it.
Nailed it.
That's a good lesson to learn, right?
Yep. It is.
Yeah.
It's a very good lesson to learn. And the biggest thing is that I learned so much from that. I learned more about myself. I learned about what my capabilities are. I also learned that I can, respond better to a BMN or a master manipulator
Wonderful.
in
Wonderful.
and recognize it and
Yeah.
understand that,
Yeah.
okay, this is what's happening and I need to flip the script a little bit. Make
Wonderful.
it
Wonderful.
make it to where I'm in charge, not them.
Yeah. Also, there's another aspect to this, right? If it does come up again, say, look, you guys live together. You're aware of what's going on with everybody, right?
Yep.
And I mean, all of the residents. So what's in that freezer is food, yes?
Yeah.
And somebody has to cook that food and eat that food. Now,
Yep.
that's a hard thing to do in isolation. Yeah, which means
Yeah.
that whoever took whatever wasn't supposed to be in there, right? Or multiple people, somebody may have come and said, oh, the luck is off, and somebody else now helps themselves. Everybody's going to notice, oh, where did you get this from? This is extra. See? So don't
Yep.
tell me that you don't know who's involved with this, right? I mean, that's a level
Well,
of unawareness that's a bit hard to swallow.
they all know who was involved in what, and there was only one person who
Exactly.
reported it.
Exactly.
But he knows more than what it feels comfortable with letting on, and reason being is
Exactly.
because
Exactly.
it's they've put him into a state of fear, if that makes sense.
Exactly.
Um,
It's being pressured and bullied. So my point is that you're responsible because you know.
yep,
You might not have done it, but you're responsible because you know who is it. And if you don't want to speak up, well, then just accept the consequences. You're a party to it.
exactly.
As simple as that. I mean, it's like What, you think this is something happened in isolation? No.
Yeah. Well, then I also got an offer to be a drug tech, a UA tech, basically for the state of Nebraska.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Where
Yeah.
I UA people like on probation and parole and things like that. I'm like, oh my goodness, like all these doors are opening up, and I'm like, I love the job that I work
Wow.
at now. So like CBD
Wow.
remedies and Kind Life. So I'm like, I would prefer to stay there just because there's just so much more to learn there, and
Yeah.
you know, um, it's just crazy how many opportunities are opening up for me right now, and it's just I love it though. It makes
Mm.
me feel it's self-confirmation that I'm doing,
Exactly.
um
Exactly. 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 That way of impeccability makes a difference.
yes, it makes a huge difference. Okay, so now, associative takeaway.
One second before you carry on. I just want to say something about memory also.
Mhm.
How can you say, well, I forget my keys? Actually, you didn't forget it. He said, what? Well, what are you talking about? So what are you talking about? You didn't pay attention to remembering it in the first place. It's
Yep.
not a forgetfulness issue. It's an attention issue in the first
Yep.
place. You put it down without thinking, oh, this is where I'm putting it down. So you weren't aware of that. In other words, you weren't paying attention. So it's not
Yep.
a memory issue. It's an attention issue. Okay?
Yep. Exactly.
Right. So
Exactly.
let's just be
So
clear. Let's just be
that's
clear,
why like,
not change the language. Yeah, right.
no,
Go
that's
ahead.
why now I definitely, I've started to say to myself a lot is that I placed something somewhere, but I didn't pay attention to where I placed it. So therefore, you
Right.
know,
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't
therefore I
remember.
don't
It's
have a
not that
tag.
I didn't forget or that I forgot. It's
Exactly.
that
Exactly. You're not
because
remembering
I
it in
didn't
the
pay
first place.
attention, I didn't remember where I put it. I
Exactly.
don't know, not remember. I don't know where I put it because I didn't pay attention to where I
That's
put it.
exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Wasn't aware.
that's
God damn it.
yeah, that what's happened?
The cat, she's getting into things she's not supposed
Oh,
to.
oh, oh. What the hell, cat?
She's just being naughty. So, but anyways, so yeah, and that's the thing is like I started saying that to myself instead of saying like, well, I forgot. Well, no, I didn't forget. I just wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's where like my disassociative aspect comes in. When I disassociate, I put myself in that bubble of unawareness. Um,
Yeah.
and it's a lot harder. Life is a lot harder to navigate when you're in that unawareness bubble. I'm realizing more and more how much of a struggle it was for me to be in that constant bubble of unawareness and detachment and disassociation. This is, because I was constantly having to like try and retrace my steps or try and, like it sucks saying, well, if somebody said, well, what'd you do today? Well, I really don't remember because I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't
Yeah.
being aware of what I was doing. I just did it. I was on autopilot, which is not a fun thing to have to admit. It's an awful truth.
Yeah.
However, when you admit it out loud, and you acknowledge it, then it forces you into more awareness of, oh, that's what I did, and I need to change that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's all about awareness. And this is where, things like this, attentiveness, memory, and it's this whole relationship. When we start living deliberately, then this starts to be dealt with. So this is
Yep.
all part of it. We'll get there. We'll get there. It's a big deal. It's a very big deal. Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
Very powerful. Very powerful. This is magic. So how are things at the CBD job? You started there already, yes?
I started there yesterday. I started training yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
it's a 2-week
the
training.
people and all that, how was things there? I mean,
I've
yes, I
only
know it's only
met
one day, but
Yeah, no, I've only met the owners and two of the managers. Or yeah, well, now one of the managers because there's no longer the other one. But
oh,
those are the only ones I've met so far.
uh,
I haven't met anybody else. Because right now, who I'm getting trained by are like the owners and
oh
the
wow,
manager.
oh,
Yeah.
excellent, excellent.
But I've learned so much in a 10.5 hour span. It's absolutely ridiculous. Like I love it, but it's a good ridiculous. Like, you know what I mean? It's just insane. And I love the amount of stuff that I've learned just about one single plant and how it's
Wow,
extracted and how it's
right,
made and the
right.
differences in all of it. And I'm just like, and the properties and what each property of this one plant, which is a CBG plant, has nothing to do with. It's definitely separate from the actual like marijuana plant because it's grown
Interesting,
differently. And
Interesting. Interesting.
yeah, it's completely grown differently. It has a very low THC level, like literally almost next to nothing for a THC level. And because of the way it's grown.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so and the properties and what different things it how it works with our bodies, our natural, endocrine system. Um,
Yeah.
but
Endocrine, yeah? Endocrine?
yeah, yeah, endocrine system, yeah.
Yeah.
And so like and how it works with it and how it helps with like inflammation and immunity and pain relief, sleep relaxation, things like that, and also how
Yeah.
it can also help boost our energy. And it's just
Yeah.
like it's so amazing how all of that stuff is intertwined and connected and
Yes. Yes.
you know
Yes. Hello, sir.
oh, so
Hello.
yeah, that goes with associative takeaway, by the way.
Yeah, no, it's all good. That's what I was going to ask you. What about the people themselves that you work with, the owners? What kind of people do you feel they are? I mean, it's early days, but still, one gets an assessment.
um so let's see, the owners, I love their passion for it. I love
Uh,
especially the one I trained yesterday, their passion with helping people, their passion with sharing their knowledge with others, um, and their passion to educate about it. Um, and I love that aspect of, um, how down to earth, but also at the same time upbeat people they are. They're
nice.
really chill, but at the same time, they're uniquely themselves. And, there's
Uh,
each of them have a different personality type.
good.
However, they're unapologetically themselves. There's no faking it. There's
There we
no,
go. There we go. There we
yeah,
go.
I
Call it.
absolutely love it. There's no, they're them and that is it.
There we
They're
go.
not apologetically them.
There we go. And that's it. That's the universe giving you the gift of saying, yeah, you, of course, also can be unapologetically Jessica. Yes?
Yes.
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 Sure. Any comment on that?
Being yourself.
Unapologetically being yourself. It's a difference.
I'm getting there. You know, I that's what strikes me as Jessica's always been unapologetically herself. I feel
Yes,
anyway.
she's
I
been
think
that
she always
way, but as she felt that way internally, it's a difference.
what's that?
I say yes, in action, she's been that way, but has she felt that way internally?
Oh, that I don't know. That probably
No,
not,
not always.
Yeah.
but I know that in action as
Wow.
well as just basically her beliefs. She's
Yeah.
always been one to beat her own
Yeah.
drum.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always admired that about her. She's quite a strong kid. So
Yes. 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 It's just, the perspective of understanding that you're not broken. Yeah, and you're not all messed up just because you've experienced messed up things.
oh,
Doesn't make
see,
you
yeah,
necessarily
that
messed up. See?
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
oops,
yeah,
that's a difference.
and that your struggle come from your moreness, not your lessness. That's a whole
Mhm.
shift of perspective.
Oh yeah, I'm
So
learning that.
yeah, exactly, and how to deal with our moreness. For instance, being internally somebody who is a basically honest person. This is something that causes us tons of problems in the world. But then if
It
we
does.
don't realize this, then we think it's us. I'm to blame. I'm the one who's wrong. I'm mistaken. No, it's not that. It's just that people don't want honesty because it shows them up because they're full of crap for the most part.
I'm
Yeah,
on the edge of
Yep.
my seat because I have to share something.
yeah, yeah. Go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay. So
That's
no,
power.
it was I'm like super proud of myself because I definitely stepped up to ANDS, Alcohol and Drug Solutions, and I stepped up to them and I stated to them, look, I this is something that, I feel like A, I'm being taken advantage of my time, things like that. And also B, I am going to basically ask you guys, or I'm going to not basically, I'm going to ask you guys now and assertively request that you guys find a replacement for me. I
Well,
working at CBD remedies and Kind Life is going to be my primary job now, and I need you guys to start looking for that. I can't do this right now. I'm not in a position in my life currently to try and continuously share what I know and what I have learned when I haven't learned enough of it yet to be able to continue with this job. As I love this job, I just right now cannot go forth with it. It is not the right time for me. And they understood it. They understood where I was coming from, and how I explained it to them and let them know that,
oh,
right now I just can't do this. I need to put my focus on something else.
yeah,
And um that, I do appreciate the opportunity and the chance to, you know, learn so many different aspects of this. And, in all the positions I have the opportunity to have. And, I will definitely make sure to um, give you guys as a company a good, reference towards people. Um, However, can I give some of the staff a good reference and I let them know? Absolutely not. Um, and reason being is because there are some staff that are just not, they're not cut out to work here, and it
yeah,
is posed to be an issue within the company. And um, I think for further future employees, you guys should really vet their knowledge on um, addiction and
oh,
also the personality traits of these residents so they can better um, work with them and
yeah,
be there for them in the manner they need to be. Um,
yeah,
reason thing being is, and I did let them know I would consider, if I were them, I would consider further training for the techs. That way, the techs don't just wing it and end up reversing so much that was already set into
yeah,
place initially. So
yeah,
that's been an ongoing issue.
yeah,
But I just want to let them know that I do appreciate, everything. However, I am moving on with my, career, and I am moving forward with it. Um,
yeah. Wonderful,
I just
wonderful, wonderful.
I think that, and they respected my answer, they respected my decision, and so I did let them know I will
Yeah,
stay on board until they find a replacement, but this does not mean that they can drag out finding a replacement for me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There you go. There you go. You give
So,
them sufficient time. If they don't act in sufficient time, then sorry. Yeah,
yes.
they definitely
And I
need to up their hiring criteria, because it's about character. They employing people who, well, they don't have the skills, but they don't have the character either.
Yep.
And that's very important. You got to have both. Yeah,
Well, and that's the thing is,
Hmm.
before some staff, like certain staff were hired on, and I was primarily working with the residents, no issues, none at
yeah,
all. And I come back and everything that is ever like um been taught or shared, or any tools that were been obtained are completely out the window now.
yeah.
And
They
it's gotten
yeah,
ridiculous. And it's like, so now the person who is now the primary for these people are literally reversing every single thing that has
yeah,
ever been shown to
yeah,
them,
yeah, 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 yeah.
because they have their own interpretation of how a treatment facility should be run.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that song, Jessica. Everybody wants to rule the world.
There you
Yeah.
go.
And I don't
Exactly.
want to deal with that extra stress. That's unneeded stress for me. And so
Yeah.
I'm just like, nope.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna be, internally fighting people, that's no good. So yeah,
No. And it's one of those things that, especially the person that is the primary residential, he's a BMN.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he is so stuck on himself, and he's like, I used to work at Center Point, which is another treatment center in Nebraska. It's only based
Why
in
isn't he
Lincoln,
there?
Nebraska. He used to work there.
I know, but what I'm saying is why is it he used to? You know, I know
Because he got
Centerpoint.
fired.
Oh, okay, yeah,
There you go.
there it is.
He tried telling,
There
well,
it is.
initially he told like Damien and Jamie that he quit working there. I found out, I did some back research on this guy. I found out that he got fired because
Yep.
he was trying to implement his own forms of treatment with the residents, and was not going program based treatment. And so he was starting to do the same thing over at residential, and now he's facing getting fired for doing that same exact thing, because he has made it so all residents refuse to um, go based on the treatment programming that is specifically based for alcohol and drug solutions, what they base their treatment on. And so now it's gotten to a point where nobody's listening to the clinical staff. They're only listening to this one guy, and it's making it really, really tough for even them to continue on with their, um, their treatments. So
Yeah.
it's just gotten really bad. And so like I basically like I notified them, both owners as well as Jamie, and notified them and said, look, this is what I see happening, and this is going to be your guys' demise if you continue to go down this route. You're going to have less and less staff who are going to be more willing to be working with you or for you guys, and it's not going to be good for you all around. And nor is it's going to be very counterproductive for all of the residents too. And they're not going to have as high of a success rate.
Yeah.
So they really took into consideration what I had to say. They really did appreciate, my feedback. And because I went at it in an assertive manner, and a very, like I just wanted to share with them what I'm noticing and what I'm observing.
Excellent.
And they didn't, and I know when they don't want to take something into consideration, just by A, their body language, but also B, what they say. And so, because they'll flat out tell you, well, I don't think that that's going to be a thing.
Yeah.
So, and they'll question you as a person, like as what you truly see what's going on type of thing. And I wasn't questioned because they do know that I'm very observant, and that I will, that I really report what I am observing, what I'm noticing.
No. Oh, good. Yeah, management needs some impeccability.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I had an association to what you were talking about, so that's why I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah. Yeah, wonderful. No, that's the whole point of takeaways. It's exactly how it goes. It's not linear. It jumps around sometimes.
yes. Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. Wonderful. The main thing is that you feel right and good about yourself. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's important. That is
Very
the key, the criteria. Exactly. That's the benefit of impeccability, that you don't end up doubting or resenting or regretting your decisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You see, we've been impeccable, and whether it turns out good or not, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant, because you've been impeccable, and that's you did your best at the time. End of story. It may have been that your best wasn't good enough, and you learn and you update, but that's fine. That's fine.
Yes.
Fine. So it's not a problem. So yeah, it's wonderful. It relieves that total stress that comes from our decision making. We can make them and move on. Yes, the next time you'll probably make sometimes you'll make a completely different decision, because you realize, wow, I didn't know enough and I needed to know more. But at the time, I still made every effort to know as much as I can, and think it through and pay attention and research and all that. Still wasn't enough. All right, well, now I know for next time. So, but it always turns out good in cases like that, almost always. So at least I've never known it not to. But that's the thing, though. It's that peace that you have from your decisions, right? And it's not peace from arrogance either, which of course it can be for some people. So we always have that, and we stay open to learning. We don't accept that it was that we were right. It's not about being right, it's about being impeccable, right?
Well, yeah, that, and also what's best for me on that aspect too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And on top of that, like being impeccable in a way of knowing that I have offered everything that I can offer at this point, and that it's time for me to make peace with that and move on.
Exactly. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Sure. Any comments?
Not just yet. I'm listening.
Yeah, it's just fun to listen, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Just listening. I'm
Very
tired,
cool.
but I'm listening.
Yeah, very cool. So Jessica, from a takeaway point of view, right? I'm assuming from what I hear that you've definitely updated and upgraded your perspective and understanding of takeaway. In
Yes.
I
that
heard that too.
that takeaway is a profound thing. It changes your life because we want to learn to do takeaways on everything. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
I heard that too.
It's a very big deal. It's a power. It's a skill. That's a huge skill. To do a takeaway is so much more to than just observing and seeing stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Sir,
is. It's so much more.
Yeah.
Were you
It
saying
is.
yes as well, sir?
Yeah, I was saying that I see where I like how you said that, upgraded, because that's what I've seen. That's what I've heard, I should say.
Yeah.
I heard that she has a solid grasp of what takeaway means to her. And for Jessica, making something her own, I think is super important.
It's critical.
Especially for her,
It's critical.
Yeah, especially for her growth.
Yes, exactly.
To me, that's one of the biggest takeaways of takeaways.
Yes. Exactly. You see externally, when you see it in somebody else, especially somebody that you know well, and you see how necessary it is, absolutely critically necessary, we come to realize, of course, well, that's important for me too. Yeah. So this is a huge point. The necessity for making it your own. The necessity, not the value, but the necessity. It is imperative, critical, absolutely has to be.
Yes,
she
very
had
much
mentioned
so.
a couple of things that grabbed my attention, and I thought, put a pin in it, and I'll visit that. So,
yeah, that's a most excellent observation and takeaway and understanding that comes from this, because that's what our takeaway is. It's understanding connected to action.
Yes, I like that.
And understanding that it's all connected, even if it doesn't seem to make sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's great.
Exactly. It's an understanding via connection to doing, to application. That's the key, because we can have understandings and realizations and awareness, but if they don't get connected into action, nothing happens. They go. It gets lost. Right. So that's the point.
Yes.
We need to change our behavior, not just our understanding. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And this is where self-improvement is. A lot of people they self-improvement junkies. They spend their whole lives focused on self-improvement, and it's like, when does it end? It never ends for them, because it never translates into behavior change. It leads to awareness, memory, data change, but not behavior.
If you truly think about it, if you're living your life with deliberate intent, then once you come to that understanding of a situation or interaction you have with somebody, or written interaction, what have you, any sort of type of interaction, once you come to that understanding, and that, being able to put it into appropriate action, then you can't not put it into appropriate action if you're being deliberate and being deliberately intent. So
Exactly.
it's impossible. It's literally impossible. If you are truly living your life or your day-to-day, interactions with people or situations or just yourself, if you're truly living with that, then once you come to that understanding, it's literally impossible to not put into action.
Exactly.
Because
Not if you're an honest person.
yeah, if you're not being, yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm saying, like deliberately doing it with intent. And because once you're deliberately doing it with intent, the honesty, the self-honesty, the honesty for with others, the the emphasis that you put into things, your attunement, all of those things go hand in hand with being able to truly understand it, being aware of it, understand it, and then also, discern it, and being able to, all that goes hand in hand with being able to actually put it into appropriate application and, with the action of things. And then because it doesn't, you can't just do that and then stop. Because then you're not really living your life with good intent. You're not really living your life.
And there's no integrity.
Exactly. There is no integrity and there's no impeccability. There's nothing. So you're truly not living that way if you cannot put it into appropriate application. Straight up. Like it's not possible.
Exactly. That's too magical. That's just awesome. And when we do live with integrity, and we live right according to ourselves, doesn't mean we are right in the world in general. We can be wrong all the time, but we're right according to ourselves, and not because we're arrogant or conceited, but because we make that effort and we learn and grow and adjust. But this leads to a deep inner comfort, even if things aren't quite that copacetic in the world around us, right? We may have a situation that's not all that fluid, but we can deal with it. We can handle it. We can still not lose our shit and lose ourselves. Right, Sher?
Yeah.
Sometimes, especially when, you have a person who pushes and pushes and pushes, like I was explaining earlier about the clients that kept trying to push and push and push.
Exactly.
I just, the biggest thing I said was, for me was end of discussion. I will do what I know is right. I will do what I know is thank you, appropriate, not right. I will do what I know is appropriate for this incident or for this situation. And that is it. We're done. It's not up for discussion. It's not up for debate. And I have nothing else to say on this. I don't need to explain my reasonings. I don't need to explain myself. I'm just, and of course, then they, people try to, like BMNs, they love trying to flip it up back on you and saying, well, then I don't need to explain why I do something, or I don't need to do that. No, you really do, because I'm your superior. So therefore, I'm in charge of you. So therefore,
were you hanging out at this house yesterday?
No, it was actually literally a situation that occurred this weekend at work.
No, that occurred this weekend. That occurred yesterday. That was here in this house. It sounds like you're almost saying word for word.
Oh wow!
I'm hearing CJ. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jessica.
Oh no! Don't worry about that. Like I get it. I completely I can see how that can be connected in that sense where we were both dealing with BMNs. And master manipulators.
Well, here's my question: is how? I mean, do you feel that you are managing resentment when it comes to dealing with these BMNs? How do you deal with that?
At first I didn't manage it very well. And a lot of that was because of my own energy level was way depleted. So I did lose my shit at first. I really did. I told them all to sit down and shut the fuck up.
And that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I haven't said that yet, but it's coming.
I straight up, I lost my shit. However, when I finally was able, I finally just like, I paused, did my power pause type thing. And I had, you know, closed my eyes, took a deep cleansing breath and slowly let it out. And then I was like,
Wonderful.
okay, I see what's happening here right now. And this is not going to be okay. Like, this is not okay. No, it's not appropriate. This is not, something that I'm going to allow them to take
Right.
control, because they love the
Right.
reaction. They love what
Yeah.
interaction and reaction they get out of you. And so once I stopped giving them that reaction, and I was like, no, look, I'm going to say it how it is perceived to the naked eye, to an average person, how it's going to be seen. I don't care what your excuse is at this point. All I care about is what I see, and that you have to take responsibility for something that is also yours to have. You guys all, once somebody messes up, it's not like you guys don't know about it. So even if you don't say something, you're still in trouble by implication. So
Exactly.
therefore, you're done. We're done with this discussion. I'm done with this
Yeah.
discussion. Enough is
Yeah.
enough. I'm moving on.
Yeah. And the bigger life lesson is that life isn't fair. Especially if you put yourself in a situation where you're at the mercy of others, which is why you are here.
No, life isn't YouTube. Let's just make that a quote. Life isn't YouTube.
You go, exactly.
Life
isn't
isn't a movie. And that's the thing, is YouTube is technically, it's all staged. So it's not a movie.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And if a person chooses to live their life in a very unrealistic manner, then that's their problem. And they're going to really struggle hard in life, and they're going to struggle a lot with, like, okay, so you remember, Sher, how I used to always have this self importance, essentially, personality, as attitude, where everybody basically had to conform to me, my bow down to me after a while of, like, doing what everybody else wanted me to do. However,
Okay.
I used to get so mad and create drama. If you do not recall, I created drama
Well, yeah. But
because
I didn't know
I
what it was
found out
for.
that I have control. People are letting me have control over their emotions, their thoughts, their actions. I
Right.
freaking loved it. I loved it. I got off on being able to manipulate people into feeling guilty, shame, and, to give me what I want. You were the easiest target because you were the one who bought into my guilt, and, me making you feel guilty in a way, and, um saying but not saying, if that makes sense, without truly actually saying that I was pissed off at you for the shit that I went through growing up, and that you owe me.
Yeah.
Because not that this doesn't make you a weak person, but what it does is your goodness has become, it's become an issue for you. Your big part, your goodness has become an issue, is being misused, mistreated. And so once you truly are able to rein it in and only have that goodness for, because, like, okay, so if it were me right now, I've learned that for me, when it comes to CJ, I would have just said, nope, you're going to deal with the consequences now. You're on your own. You've made your choices. You're done. I'm no longer going to try and help you. And
Well,
reason
that's where it
being
is right
is
now.
because he's going to continuously, because, like, okay, so whenever you pick me up from juvie or wherever, you'd always have, like, my favorite candy bar and my favorite drink ready.
Right.
Okay.
Reward.
To me, I was like,
Reward.
oh, so she's telling me that every time that I do this, I get a reaction of, oh, I can use her guilt and her shame against her. Exactly
Yeah.
what CJ is doing.
Well, no,
Yeah.
he's trying. That hasn't happened. I
Yeah,
mean,
there's a big difference now. It's a big difference now. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
what's happening
yeah,
now, and I see what you're saying, Jess. What's
yeah,
happening now is I'm not going to call it sternness. I see what he does. I know what he does. I know what he's capable of. He is relentless.
yeah,
I
He
have
is.
no other word for it. He is, pardon this, I'm going to say this. He is just fucking relentless.
Yep.
yeah,
He is
yeah,
to the point where I don't care if he walks out of the house. If he wants to run away, let him fucking run
yeah,
away.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
And you know what?
I'm
And
going to
that's the
stop him. I
thing.
am not going to stop him.
And
yeah,
I don't blame you. I can't
yeah,
blame
You
you
know,
whatsoever.
yeah,
I'm to that point of I'm tired of trying to understand him. I'm
yeah,
tired of trying to be understanding with him.
yeah,
Like yesterday, I'm not kidding you guys. I mean, out of the blue, he just started on me.
What time was that?
And I ignored it. It would have been about, I don't know, it was about 5, somewhere in
Yeah,
there.
you want to know why?
oh,
He messaged me about 4:15 via email and asked me if I could call. I was still at work, so I didn't respond.
Right.
He took his anger
Well,
from on me towards me out on you.
well, yeah, that happens all the time. It's so
yeah,
I just told him, it's like, you know what? I don't know what the issue is right now. If you're not going to share it with me, I'm not even going to bother caring. So just
there you go.
zip it, keep it at 0. I don't
Yeah,
want to hear you. And he goes,
yeah,
and here's his classic response: shut the fuck up. I can say whatever I want to you, bitch.
wow, wow,
You tell me that you're not going to want to put your fist through somebody's mouth like that.
yeah, yeah,
It takes
Yeah, no.
everything I have in my power not to make him hit the floor.
Just
yeah,
make
The
that
only
call,
reason I
Mom.
don't is because I will go to jail.
Yep.
yeah,
Everybody will rally around him and protect his little butt, and they'll
yeah,
call
So
me the bad person.
so
yeah,
I think right now is so here's what I'm observing right now. I'm observing your energy is completely, absolutely depleted,
Oh, it
and
is.
that it is affecting
oh,
your ability to
oh,
emotionally regulate. Um, so what I would suggest, and here's just a suggestion, you don't have to take it, but what I would suggest is that that you call his probation officer and make that report and say, look, I can't have him here. He's got to go.
yeah, yeah,
I can't
He's
handle
gonna
this
have to.
anymore. I can't deal with this anymore. I'm just, he's relentless. He is constantly trying to put me down. He's being extremely disrespectful and rude, even repeat some of the things that he has said to you. Also let him know that he has gotten to that point where it I can't help him anymore. I don't have the tools to be able to assist with this anymore. I'm done. I can't do it. He needs to
yeah,
go.
yeah,
I don't at this point, whatever happens, happens. But I've tried and it's getting to be too much. It's wearing down on me. It's wearing down on my health. It's, not okay to keep him in this environment. He's constantly creating drama where drama doesn't need to be created. He's taking his anger towards his mom out on me. Um, and he can't be here anymore.
what do
Yeah,
you think
you
of
know
that,
what?
Sher?
You guys, he got up this morning. I mean, I could do that. But there's 2 issues, though. Is one, exactly what I thought was going to happen is happening. He's now got the ear of all the teachers at the school.
Yeah,
Do you know that he has not had one behavior at school, and instead what he's showing, what he's demonstrating anyways at school is that, well, I'm in a much better environment at school. I can't handle it at home because it's my grandma.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's her who's making me this way.
Yeah. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
has effectively shown the school, hold on,
Yeah.
he's effectively shown the school
Yeah.
exactly what they wanted to see. Everybody wants to blame the adult.
Oh yeah.
So why
Oh
don't
yeah.
you put me, why don't you involve me? That would be also, hon,
No,
Mom,
no.
when you're not involving me, it makes it so much harder for you because there are things that I know that sometimes you don't remember because of your high emotional state right now. And so it's involve me. I will let them know that yes, my son, he has got a lot of anger towards me. It has nothing to do with his grandma. His grandma's done nothing to him. However, I have. And so his anger, his resentment is he's
Mhm.
blasting it towards his grandma because she's an easy target. Now, if you're not seeing the fact that he's manipulating you guys, then that's on you. However, here's the deal is that he is a narcissist. He is also a master manipulator. It has been proven that he has got deep psychological issues. It is because I bet you any moment if one of those people cross him at school, one of those teachers, the minute they cross him, he's
Yeah.
going to flip a switch on them.
Yep.
Like in his
Yeah.
eyes of how he would perceive as being crossed. Now,
Yeah.
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 then that's when you just state, okay, that's when you let his probation officer know what is going on, how he's doing this, what he's doing, and also talk to his therapist before he has his appointment and say, hey, look, this is exactly what is going on. And this is like, even if he's in the same room, that way she can watch his reactions.
Yeah.
I
Because
think that's a good idea.
Sure. Is he doing his homework and schoolwork?
No,
Yeah. And
no.
how come there's no consequence on that?
Because they don't want to deal with it.
they're
Uh,
scared of him.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't want to push his buttons, so they just let him,
Yeah.
pat his hand. Oh, poor CJ, we understand. We
Yeah.
understand.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
so the thing is CJ has created such fear in people because he is a loose cannon.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe ask them, say, hey, please make sure he does his homework. I'm not able to do this. Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
you know
them deal
what?
with it, and then they'll have to
This
change
is
their story.
this is what started it last night. You just reminded me when you said homework. It
Yeah.
was almost 5 o'clock, and he had, dallied around and
Daisy.
dallied around, and I said,
Yeah.
I think it's time for you to get. Oh, he brought his computer down, his laptop down, and I said, you can leave it on the table
No,
because
stop.
it's time to get
Daisy,
your
stop.
homework done. And
Yeah.
that's all it took. I
Yeah.
don't need your. I'm serious, word for word. I don't need your goddamn reminders. He's like, mind your
Yeah.
own business.
It is your business. Sure. What I would really recommend is because you already know what's coming or the likelihood that there's going to be drama. So start recording before he comes down, right?
Oh,
And you've
that's a
got
good
the
idea.
recording on. And
That's a
then,
good idea.
okay, sometimes nothing may happen and then you just delete the recording. But you can
Yeah.
save all of this on YouTube as unlisted, right?
Yeah.
So nobody has access
Yeah.
to it, but it doesn't fill up your hard drive, and you can save as much as you like there, right? So then you
Yeah,
can
that's
save
good.
it and delete it from your hard drive or your phone, and it doesn't take up space. But
Yeah.
that you have the stuff available, right? And it's like you think it's all me. Well, here we go. Yeah, I am minding my own business, doing whatever. CJ comes on, I say hello, and have you done your homework? And then he erupts. If you've
Yeah.
got that
Yep.
on tape like that, that's like, no, don't come and tell me it's my environment. Yeah, I've got 100 videos for you. You can see for
Yeah.
yourself. So tape your
Yep.
day-to-day regular stuff.
I'm
And
going to. I really like that idea. I
yeah,
do. I
this
like
is
that.
this is
Yeah.
huge. This is huge. It changes everything, right?
Yesterday we had a massive, massive storm here. Pretty big one.
Oh wow,
And
cool.
we I chose to not have him walk through this torrential rain and instead sat in the pickup line, which takes 45 minutes to pick him up from the school. And so he gets in the car and he's like, I don't know what you bothered with this for. He's like, you could have let me walk. I didn't say anything. And it's like, well, thought to myself, okay, I'm glad you're so grateful.
Yeah.
So,
For me, if
So
it
my
was me, I
question
would
is,
have said,
Sher,
okay, fine, out you go and walk back now. All right,
yeah,
no problem.
Sher, I
yeah.
have a
So,
question.
okay.
Is it or is it not part of uh your orders to pick him up and also drop him off at school?
Yeah, that's part of my court orders.
Okay, well then don't let him walk home from school anymore.
Yeah.
No, you can't. He hasn't
Yeah,
been. I have to pick him up. But
Right.
he doesn't like that I don't let him walk with his friends.
Yeah.
too
Well,
bad.
tell him that it's a court ordered thing. Is he aware of that? Say,
He doesn't
Yeah,
care.
he
it's
is.
not up to me. If it's up to me, I'd let you walk, but I have to. This is the court
He is,
order.
but he refuses to read the court orders. He wants to claim that whole, if I don't know about it, then I don't have to do it.
Well, then read it to him.
I did. I did.
Uh,
The whole time it was, shut the F up, shut the F up. That's what drove
So
it crazy.
how about you do it again and record his reaction to it?
There
Oh,
you
there
go.
you go.
There you
I
go.
like that.
Record everything, Sher. From now on, just record everything and just get
Yeah.
into the habit of uploading it to your YouTube channel as unlisted, right? Because then nobody can see it
Yeah.
unless you give them the link, like I do with our recordings,
Right,
right?
right.
And
I'll
then
look
you
and
can
see
delete it
that.
from your phone or the laptop, either way,
Yeah.
or
But
both.
See, and
Yeah.
here was the plan. The theory was, is it okay? I only had 2 weeks until he had his first, psychological eval. I should be able to hold on for 2 weeks. I asked him yesterday when he was going on this rampage. It's like, if you hate it here so bad, why did you ask to come home? Why? Why did you ask
Yes,
to
exactly.
need detention
Exactly.
if this place is so horrible? And
Yeah.
it's like none of your business. I'm sorry, I'm not your key to the world.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I'm not going to let you go running around the world. But if you want to go ahead and do that, go ahead.
Yeah.
Don't care
Yeah.
anymore. Let probation take care of you. I'm finished.
Yeah.
So he gets up this morning and he's all happy. He's
Yeah.
in a wonderful mood. He's like, "Oh, I'll take Lou
Interesting.
out. No, it's okay. Don't bother. I already did. I'm not nice to him anymore. I've got nothing
Yeah.
nice to say. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
well,
don't."
here's the deal though, Share too. At the same time, he's playing on your emotions really bad in that aspect because he treats you like shit, but then it also makes you feel a certain and he knows it. He's when I he doesn't make you
Yeah.
feel he's
Yeah.
his goal is to make you feel some sort of guilt or what have you, and really play on those emotions of manipulating by being all happy just before
Yep.
he has to go to school and then come back home and then all of a sudden it's back to World War III again in the home. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that like he's really trying really hard to make you feel guilty and make you feel ashamed of things that you didn't even do or things that you didn't even create. Whereas you're now having to go back in through your day and your interaction with him and think about what it was that I have done to create
Yeah.
this situation. And in reality, when he finally sees that it's not working, then he's going to get pissed off
Right.
even more and
Yeah.
try even harder to
Yeah.
Yeah,
really
that's what's
break you.
happening.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
what's
And that's why he's
happening.
like, he's trying to break you and
Yeah.
trying to make you docile and trying to make you
Yeah.
do what he wants you to do
Yeah.
and let him do whatever, like
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
basically do whatever and have free reign.
Yeah.
However, because the child hates rules, he does not like conforming to rules. So part of narcissistic,
Yep.
disorder as
Yep.
well
Yep.
as,
The rules don't
master
apply to
manipulators,
him.
they
Yeah.
don't, they hate rules. Rules are not a thing for
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
They will actually go into basically they'll create what's called um, a, it's like
Well, don't worry
the
about those
O
technical name things. They just
oppositional defiant disorder, ODD.
yeah.
He
Yeah,
creates
he
that
has
ODD, which
yeah.
Say
now
what?
he's got like
Oh.
what, three things that we can confirm
Oh,
that he deals
DMDD,
with,
ODD. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so
Yeah.
you
I'm
know?
trying to hang on, but I just don't think that I can. No, I know I can't. Because either he's going to get hurt and I'm going to get in trouble, or he's going to wind up getting his way.
Yeah. So make
last
some.
night.
Oh, good.
Well, I was just going to say one more thing here, that the really scary part, and I'm not letting this one go. Of course, I keep my door shut at night. And locked. Last night, let me see, the night before last, he fell asleep with his laptop in his bed or whatever. And anyways, he fell asleep with it, and he got up the next morning and he's like, "What did you do with my laptop?" Like, "I haven't touched your stuff." That's all I said to him. And he's like, "I doubt it. You probably took it and hid it, but whatever, And of course, here comes the swear words again. And I just ignored it. And he kind of kept that up. Well, then last night, he was up on his laptop. I was in bed. It was about 2:00 in the morning. He was trying to get into my door. Trying to get into my bedroom door at 2:00 in the morning, and it was locked.
Where was the laptop? Was it in his bed?
Yeah, it was in his room.
So was he trying to like research
Yeah.
how to unlock a door? Sorry, I pressed the wrong button.
Could have been.
Sure. Again, record it all. The next time if that happens, you wake up and you say, you point the camera at the clock. You say it's 2:00 in the morning. Yeah, he's trying to get into my room. Document the stuff, and then, like Jessica says, send him back to juvie. If you send him back to juvie without, based on this pattern of behavior now, he's going to see that, man, this stuff, he can't get away with it, right? Because he thinks he can, because it's not something like a big incident and the police aren't called, so it's just private between you and him. But when he realizes that you have the power to send him back, and he doesn't even have to know about the recordings, right? That you just share with the probation officer. And it's like, okay, well, you've got the power to send him back. Now he has to change things, see? So this is a big wake-up call for him, because he thinks it's all private and nobody knows, and he can get away with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And record those threats against you and stuff like this. I mean, it's like, no, sorry, and that coming at your door in the night, it's like, no, I am, what the hell, sorry, this is not appropriate behavior. End of story. Back you go.
Nobody needs to do that. I just nobody does.
Exactly.
And to me, the only reason why anybody would be, trying to come into a room that hour of the morning would be for harm.
Yeah.
Do I still think he wants to harm me? Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
So, I had already planned on calling probation today to report it, and I can almost tell you what they're gonna say, which is, what? Well, let's wait and see what his appointment says.
That's why you want the recordings. That's why you say, no, sorry, look, check this out. No, sorry, no, this is no wait and see. Here's your evidence, and act, or otherwise something's going to happen, and then it's on you, right? You've got evidence that this is a problem, right? And this has to be, surely making threats against you has to be against his probation, no?
Yes, it is.
Right. So there you go. Yeah. So just record one or two of those, and life is easy. Yeah.
Well, I've definitely, I'm not taking him to the rec center anymore.
No.
I stopped doing that. All privileges have been pretty much cut off. He doesn't want to go to Taekwondo. Okay, that's great. I'll sell the equipment, get my money back. And, Jessica bought half the equipment and I bought the other half. I'm not going to pay for the rec center. Why should I? You can't be compliant at home. You can't be decent to the person who is giving you a home. Then no, I'm sorry. I'm not going to give you
no privileges. But also, like when you go pick him up from school now, put the recording on just before he gets into the car, right? So that he doesn't always know he's being recorded. Yes.
Right.
So, do that, like, again, when he's in the mornings or whenever, before he comes down the stairs, with you there, put it on beforehand. just so that you're basically going to get sound for the most part. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or flip
right.
the camera and you turn the camera upside down so that he doesn't see the video recording, but the camera is still recording. You understand what I mean? So
Right.
so that he's not, because he will, if he sees this, he might change his behavior for the recording. But if he doesn't know, especially like in the car, then it's like, when you have that, this is a whole big difference. And then, of course, too, you have a couple of them and say, look, I only recorded a couple here because this is every single freaking time. This is day in, day out,
Well,
Mhm.
the
the
best
pattern.
way to do that, to record, is essentially you place it on record, but what I would do is I would place it like in your cup holder, but where the camera
Exactly.
is facing the dashboard, or the
Exactly.
screen, not the camera, but the
Exactly.
screen is facing the
Exactly.
dashboard.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, then you'll get some video as well. But my point is that, if you do it that way around, and then you can also press hit the little button that takes the things, when the app isn't in the foreground, it puts them all in the background, you see all of them. And then the timer of the thing puts the screen off, but it's still recording. The other thing you can do is, you can do like a Facebook Live, but I don't remember if there's a Facebook Live where you can do it where it's private, where it's only
No,
for you and nobody else. Not
no,
okay.
you can't.
Right.
But there are other apps that you can also put in the background too that you can use.
Yeah. I mean, the reason I recommend those are because you get, if you do a Facebook Live, it automatically saves it for you and you can download it, and it doesn't use up all the memory on your phone, you see? So that's the other thing. But again, just get into the habit of uploading them to YouTube and then deleting them, and then you'll have enough space on your phone. Yeah.
Okay.
Right?
Get
Good
down, Karma.
Yeah.
Look
Yeah.
at, hold on,
Well,
Natalie. Don't switch her on yet. This is where she's at currently right now.
oh, geez.
Ninja cats.
Yeah,
Look at that
she
face.
is.
Yeah.
She is
Yeah.
a ninja cat. If I fits, I sits.
Yeah. Brilliant. Who's that behind you? Who is
That
that
was
behind you?
Natalie.
Oh, hello, Natalie. There we go. Hello, Natalie.
Said hello. But yeah,
it
no,
may be too early in the morning for interaction by the looks of things.
yeah, for her it is.
Yeah.
Very clearly.
But we'll respect the early morningness. Yeah.
Yes, she's not an early morning person.
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, sure. So I don't know if you heard. We're gonna kind of, in really quick, we're going to kind of help with I'm going to help with kind of changing some of the emotional aspects, like emotional kind of issue thing going on right now, just to kind of give you something to be happy about. So
Good.
doing Way of Impeccability right now for me has been amazing, and reason being is because I have started to see the benefits of it, which now I have a call, or I got a call to do a drug testing for women for the state of Nebraska.
That's amazing.
Really?
That's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
So yeah,
very
I got
cool.
that. I got an offer to do that. And just because of my own personal like work experience and being impeccable about it, and and it's awesome because there is, so when you're not allowing people to bully you, like I found out when I'm not allowing people to bully me into like fabricating the truth or what have you, and I'm sticking to what my morals and my values are, and not swaying from those, and not allowing other people to sway me from those, essentially, or to influence my or persuade, essentially, or influence my thought process on that. I am able to life is so much easier.
Yeah.
When I stopped living my life in fear as to what, and think about, all these other, like, possibilities, things like that, because if I do something that I know is is not I'm not comfortable with, or that I'm not okay with, there's that constant fear of being caught up. And
Caught up
that
or caught
somebody
out?
caught up. Caught up.
How do you
UP.
mean caught up?
Caught up in the
Oh,
web.
so caught up, in other words, me
Caught up
getting
in
into
things.
trouble. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And that's the thing for me, is like, when I know I'm doing everything that I know I'm supposed to do, when I know
Exactly.
I'm doing, I
Yeah.
no longer,
Yeah.
have to live in fear as to what is the negative possibilities that could happen. And I'm not going by the original beliefs, like, that I had about certain things, and just be like, no, from, like, I'm not associating past experiences with current ones, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I am learning.
I suppose. Yeah.
Yes, and I'm learning that more and more, that yes, there are some things that, that entail with my past, that, I still have some associations with, yes. However, what I do with those, though, is I use those as learning experiences, as to, okay, well,
There you go.
this is what I've seen within myself. It's a self-honesty too. This is what I've seen within myself. This is what I've seen within others per experience. However, and so this is what I can see how this is going now. However, I have the power to change that. I have the power to to basically get to that desired uh end result, essentially. Which is, I'm living the way I need to. I'm living the way I need to for me.
Excellent.
And and that's the thing, is like, even like when it comes to CJ, I no
Yeah.
longer fear him being, him blaming things on me.
Yeah.
What I do understand, though, is that fear of, you know, um, people taking his word against yours. However, I also remember, because I also, like, sometimes fear that for you, or I have felt that fear that for you. However, what I do realize is that I remember, once I start to feel that for you, I remember then. However, she's got so many people that know exactly how CJ is. She's got who cares what the fucking teachers think? They know. They already know. It's not that they think that this is how it's going. It's because they fear rocking the boat. They fear him.
Yeah.
That has a lot to say about the teachers and how he truly is with them, and how they remember how he was with them. Now, on top of that, it's not that they believe him, it's the fact that they fear rocking the boat. So they're like, oh yeah, okay, that's whatever. They're agreeing out of fear. So, and that's the other thing, is CJ has control over them. That is why he likes going to school so much, because he knows he has that control. He knows he can control them.
Do you know he's not made one friend there?
Well, no. Because
he's not made one friend. He has not made the effort to. He just, I asked
they're
him the other
scared
day,
of him, and he likes it that way.
Yeah. So it's like, why do you want to be around kids if you don't want to hang out with them? But then he'll turn around and blame me for not having friends.
Yeah.
No, it's try to help.
I mean, everything, all of his behavior now is about self-justification and proving where he's at. In other words, it's a little power game.
Self-importance.
So it's justifying his bullshit. So not making the friends, it's not just about that they're scared of him. Some will probably just think he's a jackass and a jerk, and he'll have to change in order to be friends with them. And this is not up for negotiation for him right now. See, so it's stubbornly maintaining that I'm right to who I am, and I don't care, and all this kind of crap. It's like, whatever.
So basically I'm going based on like what I'm learning and what I have learned, and also to help change some of that perspective, or share with you my perspective on things, is that his probation officer knows his demeanor and how he is. B, His therapist knows. See?
Yep.
His psychiatrist knows. His physical doctor knows. The people that matter in this situation know
Yeah. Yeah.
the situation.
Let me
They
add one
know
thing
how
to
he's
that.
ready. And so that helps. Okay, go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Sorry,
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, I just want to say real quick, Sher, that those videos are absolutely essential. Take his teachers right now. Some like the psychiatrist and the probation officer, they know. But some of those teachers who truly may, well, have that bullshit attitude, if they but suspect something is crap, if they know you have video, they can't make that bullshit claim by supporting him against you, because then the truth comes out and they're in trouble too. See?
Well,
So
at this
that
point,
video is very useful for you.
yeah, but at this point, it is literally the teachers have no pull in this situation. They have zero pull at this point, because at this point now he is involved with the court. Now he's involved with all these other specialists, psychiatrists, doctors, all this other stuff. Now he's involved with all of that. So therefore, what the teachers say or what they think is literally like having some random person just see a certain situation and automatically try to make their self-important in the whole thing. Really, the teachers are nothing compared to what all the other people have to say about it now, and what they know truly goes on. Now, they're also they don't know CJ's charges. They don't know that this is an actual issue that is nothing to do with you, that has everything to do with him. Now, even with the mental health sheriff, they know, they see it. It has nothing to do with you. If honestly, Sher, if you were truly abusing him, he would have been out of your care a long time ago. They wouldn't even have put him back in your care after he got out of juvie, if they truly felt that was going on. Now,
that's true.
So screw what the teachers think. Okay. Because honestly, they're acting out of fear. Now, who cares? Because they're nothing compared to what everybody else knows. So that is my observation. And that's something that I remember also, the reality of things and helping myself not be so fearful about what's going to happen to you. And reason being is because they're nothing compared to what is actually going on. They are just there. They're like mannequins in the whole city full of people.
Interesting.
So it just kind of helped giving you my perspective on the whole thing, and hopefully it does help you in that sense. Other thing is that, like, I have learned that, and when we were talking about memory and meaningfulness and how meaningfulness is more important than memory, over time, I've realized how little of my past I'm starting to I'm continuing to remember. How little of my childhood that I am continuing to remember on a daily basis. It used to be a constant thing that haunted me day in and day out. Now, I don't remember as much. I don't remember how it felt. It's not as vivid anymore. But what is vivid for me is what I can take away from that situation and understand that, yes, it was a shitty situation. However, I've been able to build my life from those bricks that were thrown at me.
Exactly.
I'm able to build my empire out of the bricks that were thrown at me by those people. The being, abused and things like that. Those are bricks. Those are bricks that I'm taking now. And I'm building my empire from it. They didn't build it for me. What I went through did not make me stronger. What I did about what I went through is making me stronger.
Exactly. What you extract from it, what you take away from it. Exactly.
Oh, there you go. Right back to the takeaway.
Yep. Right back to the takeaways. Sorry, sorry. I did that on purpose. I actually reworded it right back to takeaways.
No, but that was a good. I like that. I can't think of the word right now. But no, yes, you guys are right on one very big thing, especially Jessica or whoever said it. My energy is at zero, It is
Yeah.
at
Yep.
0,
Yeah.
0.
Yeah.
So
And
the
I
issue.
am
Oh,
so
Go
at
ahead,
0. And there is,
yeah.
I'm telling you, my only peace right now is when he's at school. So whatever he does at school, I don't care.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what about Cher? Here's a recommendation I'm gonna give. Do you have, first of all, I have a question. Do you have the time today to be able to take you and Lou to the beach today and to put your toes in the sand, feel the water, put it in your hands, really connect with the vibrations of the universe?
Oh, I would love to, except it's only 41 degrees. So
Yeah. Did you guys get snow, sir? We got snow
no, we
yesterday.
did not get snow. No, instead we got torrential rain and 70-mile-an-hour
Right.
winds. So
Okay. What are your thoughts about
yeah.
using one of those Zen rake things?
Zen rig things. Oh yeah, I love those. Those are fun. But yeah, today is probably I know that I'll be hitting the rec center later. I had to put the patio back together because it got all tore up yesterday from all the wind.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty vicious here. And we actually had 2 tornadoes touch down, which hasn't happened in how many dozens of years since the 90s. Both of them, one was east of Houston, the other one was south of Houston, both of them within like 20, 25 miles of our little town here. So yeah, tornadoes just don't happen in this area. They just don't happen. So yeah, it was a wicked storm yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't get anything. We just got really cold weather.
Yeah, it was a southern storm, a big storm that moved down across the south. Yeah.
Yep. So we had
it came through here on Monday. Actually, that's when we had the snow. Yeah. Sunday night. Yeah.
We got actually last week. What was it? What day was that, Ben? Wednesday last week. It was Wednesday and Thursday.
Interesting.
So Wednesday last week we got it was really weird. We literally had all forms of moisture Wednesday. We had freezing fog, we had freezing mist, we had some freezing rain, and then we had rain, and then we had freezing rain, but they came down in big pellets, like almost hail. And then finally towards the end of the day we finally got some snow. And there was literally like a half-inch thick of ice on the driveway and the sidewalks that I had to chop up just so I could scoop it.
It was a good lesson there too.
Yeah, we just had literally all forms of moisture that day. It was ridiculous. I'm like, oh my gosh, like talk about weird. But I thought it was
every
actually
type of precipitation possible.
Oh yeah, literally every type of precipitation possible. It didn't fail. But yeah, so I just the beautiful ways of how the universe works. But
it's magical.
So yeah, I just wanted to share with those things. And so I think on Friday what we can do is we can finish a session or module 1 session 1.
Wonderful.
Module 2 session 1.
Wonderful.
Friday I will more than likely not be able to attend the group because I have to be at work by 9:45 a.m.
Yeah.
But we can do our personal session.
Great. Yeah. No, I mean, if you come on for the live, that's his bonus. So that's wonderful.
I do though have to get going. I have to get ready for work.
Yeah, I want to say one thing that just to sum all of this up, right? I always try and look for the key leverage point, the key fulcrum point, and in the situation with Sher particularly, but also you had some of it being applied when you were dealing with the deep freeze issue. It is about ruthlessness.
Yep.
Now, obviously, it is the ruthlessness of impeccability, which is to define it. It is to do what is appropriate and strategic, despite emotional influence. Yes.
Yep.
To do what's appropriate and strategic despite emotional influence. That is the key lesson right now. Yes?
Yes.
Sure.
I,
Sure.
yeah, I'm here. I'm thinking. I'm not good at being ruthless.
Exactly.
Right now, you're not. Oh, no, 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 no. That I'm gonna have to call a lie on that, Mom, for sure. Reason
Okay.
being is because you are good at being ruthless. Right now, though, since your energy is very depleted and is very literally zero, your fuel tank is at zero at this point. So your emotional is going to take precedence over your logical. And so therefore, right now, you're having a harder time having the energy to be ruthless. And so, but you cannot say you're not good at being ruthless because you very much so are. You did it with me, you did it with my brothers, you did it with other people. But right now, you have I honestly, it's the only word that comes to mind, and it's sorry, not sorry, but the spawn of Satan living with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I mean, I'm calling it how I see it right now.
Yep. Gotta be
And
ruthless about it. Yeah.
you just gotta, and that's the thing is like calling it how you see it, how it is. I mean, and you know what? He ain't gonna like it, but that's because you're telling the truth, and he knows you're telling the truth. And
I don't understand how he cannot care. He knows that if he goes back to juvie, he will never see anybody in his family again.
Yeah.
well, that's his choice. He's
will cut
making the choice
you,
right now.
me, just cut everybody off. I mean, everybody he knows will be removed out of his life the instant he goes back.
This
The
is
court
where,
order
though,
will
Cher,
be enacted.
this is where you have to come to an acceptance of the fact that he is making his choices, and eventually one day he might regret it. If not,
It's still on him.
it's still on him regardless. You know, it doesn't mean that we're washing our hands of him. It doesn't mean that we won't love him. It doesn't mean that we won't try to reach out to him eventually. But right now, we have to look out for our own. It's not laying down and just accepting it. Basically, what it is acknowledging it for what it is at this point, and coming to terms with that
Ruthlessly
aspect.
acknowledge it for what it is.
Yes. And I know it's not, I wouldn't consider it as more of an awful truth. I would consider it more as acknowledging that, okay, because it's not an awful truth once it stops hurting. Once you're able to detach that hurt from it, then and that shame and that guilt and that basically it's a responsibility that's not yours. You can't save him. I can't save him. He can only save himself. And right now, he doesn't see that. So therefore, he's going to live this life. And this is a choice he's making for himself. And you know what? If he decides to come back as an adult and say, yeah, I see where I fucked up. Well, guess what, bud? It's going to be too late because we love you, but I don't know you anymore. I don't know you. So if you want to if you want to be back into my life or say anybody else's life within the family, then you've got to prove yourself. And if you don't want to prove yourself, then maybe you just completely, just because he's biologically related does not mean that we have to accept his behaviors. We have to accept his thought processes or have to accept the fact that he refuses to work on what's hurting him or the fact that you know what I mean? Like it comes to a point where we have to accept that it's out of our hands now and that he's making his own choices and he's old enough to know the differences in his own choices and what's appropriate and what's not. And he's doing this to himself and there's nothing we can do. Yes, does it hurt? I'm not gonna lie, it does, but I've had to detach my emotional state with that so I'm able to function and take care of me in the way I need to take care of me. And that's something that I would recommend you starting to do is just separate that emotion from the reality of it and just saying, okay, there's nothing more I can do. Yes, it sucks. Yes, it hurts. Acknowledge those feelings. But now it's time to just accept that, okay, yep, I've done all I can do. I did it in the best way I can. And now I can't do anymore because this is beyond me right now.
Yeah.
And that's something that I had to accept when it came to with the alcohol and drug solutions, because I was very torn about it. I was very torn about leaving. And at first, because I didn't know if it was a decision that I was truly wanting to make at the time, because I had an attachment towards helping the guys, to being there for them, to guiding them, to giving them the tools that they needed. Now, I have come to the conclusion that I have done everything I possibly can in my power. I have done everything that I could to add to their treatment, to add to their knowledge base, things like that. There's nothing more further I can do now. So it's now time for me to walk away.
Right.
And when it comes to CJ, I don't want to walk away, and I'm not walking away. What I am doing, however, is letting the consequences of his actions be present, be known, and just accept that, yep, he chose these are his consequences. I can't tell him what to do or what not to do. I can't redirect him. I can't do any of that stuff because he is at that point where he is unwilling to listen. He's unwilling to care, and that's on him. If he chooses to not care after years of showing him and sharing with him the positive aspects of himself, then now it's on him.
Okay.
It's in his hands now.
So now I see. My question earlier was, I was going to ask you, do either of you think that that I've blown any of this out of proportion, or that I was exaggerating of any kind?
No.
Because I was actually starting to doubt whether or not I was.
No.
But now hearing you talk about what you just did and the steps you've had to take, which is, and you just said it, you cannot help him. I'm like, okay, so no, I have not. I have not exaggerated this.
No.
And you're right. I have spent a lot of time trying to teach him. I think honestly, that's the statement that cut me the most yesterday. Was when I said, why is it you don't treat your teachers at school the same way you do me? Why don't they see this side of you? And he's like, because they educate me, you don't. Well, what the hell? I spent zero time then, 3 months homeschooling you, and all that was
Sher, he's put himself into a jam here. Jessica, sorry, I'm worried about. You said you had to go, right? You're not going to be late, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, I gotta get on here soon, but yeah.
All right. Well, okay. I was just say, because otherwise I sit here and I worry about you. So, you're right. You're not going to be late.
No, but I do gotta go. So I'll let you two finish up with your conversation.
Okay.
However, Sher, no, you have not exaggerated it. I see the severity of the situation. I also see his unwillingness to work through what he needs to work through. I've seen his unwillingness to actually take in and, absorb and, acknowledge that, there is an issue, there is a problem. And it's not just you, it's been Sil, it's been everybody else that he refuses to like learn anything from. The only reason why he said that with his teacher's mom was to try and cut you down, or Share to cut you down.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's just
and that he was
he
trying
succeeded.
to incite negative self-doubt, inferior feelings, things like that, to try and break you down. So just remember that anything and everything negative he says right now towards you is to an attempt to break you down, to make you docile like he's made his teachers.
No, that's all bullshit. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that makes sense.
All right. Wonderful.
All right.
Wonderful.
I love you, and
Love you too.
I will talk to you guys later. It's been an amazing conversation and very enlightening, like always.
Yes.
You guys have a
Doing
great
good.
rest of your day.
Okay,
Yeah, you
you
too.
too.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye, Jessica.
Bye.
Bye-bye. 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, it won't let me leave. There we go.
I know. I
Okay.
do the same thing.
It takes a little while. Yeah. Sure. If we take all of this, right, with the ruthlessness and take that ruthlessness to another issue that's come up, which is caring. Yes. And you care. And like when he says the horrible stuff to you and all of this, you care about what he says. That's the issue where he is finding the leverage to manipulate. You're caring. So you've got to, at least got to, yeah, I shouldn't say that, but all right. You know, this would be, to
I have
me,
to
where
not
I see
care.
to learn to ruthlessly care, not to not care, which is different.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? Because if you,
Yeah, but I'm not quite sure how to do that. That's
right,
the thing.
exactly. And so when, like for instance, when he says mean and horrible things, right, you've got to hear it as words only, not meaning,
Okay.
right? Because if you look at the intent behind it, the intent is to be hurtful. The intent is for dominance. The intent is self-doubt, you know, your self-doubt, etc. The intent is manipulation. So how could you possibly take that as hurtful? The
Okay.
content of what he says. You see my point?
Okay. Yeah, I do. I do.
So now you just see it as, well, okay, it's just bullshit, in other words, right? So that's the key. That's why, you know, in the book, everything revolves around bullshit. When you see it
Yes.
as bullshit, now you can have that appropriate attitude and be ruthless towards it. Well, it's just bullshit. I'm not going to pay any attention to it. End of story. You know, the fact that he says this about the teachers are not you, more bullshit. Because also, of course, he's painted himself into a corner. He cannot possibly acknowledge that he's getting value from you, because that would make his crimes against you monstrous.
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
You see? So he
Yeah.
screwed himself now, right? In a very big way.
Yeah.
So it's like, dude, you know, you can't possibly get any value from me, because then you'll have to acknowledge that you've been absolutely, totally full of shit all this time, right?
Yeah.
And that's the big block for him, is this acknowledgement that he's been full of shit, which is why the juvie may be the only solution for him, because there he can't, this is just not working. He is low man on the totem pole. He's at the bottom end of things there. None of his bullshit gets him anything or anywhere, and none of it works, and he's forced to face the awful truth. Plus, you know, the difference between that and here, you know, being at home is a stark contrast. He had it for a few days, but you know, the bullshit is so strong in him that didn't last very long. Yeah.
No.
So
No,
if he goes back now, he goes back for what, 3 months?
No. He'll go back until the judge sentences him. Then he has to do whatever his sentence is for aggravated assault and terroristic threats. And then they would have to determine whether or not he would be suitable for residential treatment. Of course, he's not suitable for foster care because, you know, they will not take in place violent kids,
Correct.
you know, violent, out of control juveniles into foster care.
Correct. Have you laid this out for him? Have you said, look, dude, are you aware of what's going on with your sentence? Yeah.
See, and everybody keeps asking that. Is he aware of the seriousness? It's like he is, but he's denying it.
Okay. So again, ask him, what, don't say, are you aware? Because he could just say yes. No, ask him, in other words, for a repeat back. Say, what is it that happens? What is the condition of your bail? Right? If you do go back to juvie, how long do you go back for? You ask him to tell you, oh, I go back for, you see, does he know? He might say, I know, but he needs to say it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, because if he says this, then it changes the thing, you know, that he's aware exactly. And say, look, this behavior, this complete, these threats, this aggression, this rudeness, is this in alignment with your probation?
Yeah.
Once he starts to, you know, having to confront the stuff a bit more acutely, that may help. It may help. I'm just saying may. You know what I mean? It's something
I cannot, I can't, I've tried and I cannot understand how he would want to choose. Because that's what it seems like at this point. He wants to choose punishment.
Yeah.
And I'm,
Well,
and
he feels guilty. That's the deep goodness
yeah, but
inside him.
I am,
Guilty.
I am
Yeah.
so over that whole freaking thing. I'm so
Oh yeah.
over
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
his excuse,
Yeah.
that internal excuse of, well,
Yeah.
I feel so guilty, I need punished. It's like, stop with
Well,
the bullshit
fine.
already.
Then give him what he wants. Okay. You feel like you need to be punished.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like
fine.
you want to punish yourself. Because so he has pushed away everything that is good.
Yeah.
Pushed away.
Yeah.
Rejected everything that's good. He's rejected Taekwondo. He doesn't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
All right, great. I'll save myself $100. And maybe
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to start doing, is showing him, you know what? Let's go ahead and do this, CJ, because then I'm going to be able to save all kinds of money, and I'm going to be able to move and go treat myself to a good life. It's too
There
bad you
go.
didn't want to join me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just going to start being ruthless that way. If he wants honesty,
Exactly.
I can start being viciously honest.
If you want to be punished, fine. I'll punish you. I'll take away all everything that's positive and nice and beneficial in your life. There you go. No problem.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
also
and I'm
the
not going to.
ruthlessness.
Well, here's the other thing too. I'm going to tell him. Here's what I'd love to tell him, which I think I'm going to. I don't think the taxpayers need to be responsible for your support and care.
Yeah.
Frankly, why not do it for free here at home? And I'm going to save all my neighbors and everybody I care about from having to pay for your mistakes, so you can stay here, follow the rules of your probation, and I'm not giving you one extra, not one.
Yeah.
That means no eating out. That means no rec center, no Taekwondo, no special trips for the school, none.
Yeah. I mean, you want to be punished,
vicious.
fine. You want to be punished, fine. Okay, you'll have the as close as we can come to juvie over here, without
That's
making
right.
the taxpayers pay for it. So yeah, there
That's
we go.
right. I think he's a little too comfortable right now.
Oh yeah.
I think
And
he's
again,
just a little
see,
too comfortable.
he thinks that he's in charge. Okay, he screwed up with the threat and the police coming, but so in other words, he's got to just abuse you where you don't call the police. That's why you've got to have those videos.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, the videos are going to start. I'm pulling the laptop.
I mean, this
today
is
while
something
he's
that
in
is
school.
going to require some discipline to do, but it's very important. It's very,
Yeah.
very critical. Also, your caring has to extend to not caring about yourself. Now, that sounds a little bit backwards here, but what I'm saying is like caring that you're going to get into trouble. Do the right thing, take preventative measures like the videos, and then you'll stop being overly concerned and caring about what happens, like with the teachers, you see, and you getting into trouble, because you're caring about you getting into trouble. He's able to manipulate this. So build up those, just build up a little database of videos. 1 week's worth is more than enough, right? For argument's sake, just saying. And you've already got the previous ones, but now you've got the current ones, especially to have videos where, like he comes down the stairs and, you say good morning and he says good morning. And then you ask him, have you done your homework? And then he goes off, right? Or you chat a little bit beforehand, where it's very obvious this is normal stuff and he's behaving abnormally. It's like, and then you say, but I have to ask about your homework. This, it's like, how can I not check on your homework? Are you are you allowed to just not do your homework? What? You see, and now it's like they can see you're not being abusive, you're just being a good parent, good guardian. So this is important stuff, and it's for your peace of mind. You want that backup security because you know that the truth doesn't matter, right? If it's your word against bullshit. When people want to believe shit, they believe it. But if you got the proof, and that's the point, let the teachers know too that, hey, don't take his bullshit and treat. So I've got recordings of this stuff. Once they know this, there'll be a different behavior, because then they can't come say, oh well, we're going to take his side, because that's convenient for them. But if it's going to come out and the proof will be against them, now they're going to be screwed, right? So then they have that fear to contend with. So leverage it against them too. So, this is about, strategic ruthlessness too, right? Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it makes sense. It really does. It makes sense. But I told one of my friends this morning, this is my Why Not Wednesday, basically. I woke up this morning and it's just like, why not? I got no sleep hardly last night.
Exactly.
Because there was noise from the neighbors up until God hours in the morning. And then there was CJ trying to open up my door. And I'm just like, stop already. This is insanity. Lou did not even want to be around him yesterday. She picked up, she's done with him, and that's really sad to see.
Right. And record that too.
Yeah, she stays away from him. She sticks by me. She's kind of to that point of I just don't want to be around that. There's just so many different things. So many things have changed. But so anyways, I woke up this morning and I was like, yeah, why not? Why not Wednesday? I'm just going to start saying whatever it is I need to say. It's like throwing it out there in the wind. Without hurting myself. That's the thing. Without hurting my positivity.
And again, if you hear that in the night, record that, say, hey, it's 2 o'clock in the morning or whatever, for fuck's sakes, and he's rattling at my door. Like, what the hell is this about? I mean, this is scary, right?
Yeah. I mean, who does that?
I mean, it's scary. Exactly. I mean, it's like, for fuck's sakes, I mean, really. So, and also that, you're making sure that your ducks are in a row here, that you've got everything sorted. And this is very important because you need this backup for your position, right? Because this is part of that MO. And they do things that are so preposterous that people don't want to believe it, like the teachers. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't want to believe it because it's too preposterous. And he's becoming aware of this. And it's very, very dangerous. Yeah.
Because he's such a according to them, he's such a good looking kid and well behaved. It's like, wait, what? What? Okay. I don't
well,
know
because they only going by their reality, you see. Because this is what he's doing there. And like Jessica says, but that's the thing too. I don't know if he's got a homeroom teacher or somebody to say, but like the principal, you can call the principal and say, look, please ask the teachers to follow up on his homework. I keep asking him to do his homework. He keeps refusing. He tells me to and repeat his words exactly, and it's like, I don't have any, but the teachers aren't following up. So he's getting away with this, right?
Yeah.
Because if they follow up and insist he does his thing, he's going to lose it with them, right?
Yep.
Or he'll have to do it either way. And this is going to now, reveal that he's not going to be this nice, good boy anymore, right? So, well, and if he does make that effort, well, fine, well, okay, you're doing your homework. You've got some leverage points. So either way, you get value out of it, right? So this is very important, just to leverage him.
There's a reading assignment that's due tomorrow. They were supposed to have read this book. And the teacher said that they can finish it if they read a chapter a day, like she had assigned to them. And that's it. He hasn't even really cracked into it. He just hasn't. It's like, all right, that's not my issue. I've asked you. I can't force him to do it. So the thing is it's worth a test grade. It's not just a grade. This is a whole test grade. So if he gets,
They
had to fill out this rubric.
Yeah.
And that rubric is due tomorrow. And when they turn it in, that, it will be graded as a test grade. So, okay, it is what it is. And there's no making that one up.
Yeah, exactly. And then this will be, he's such a good boy, well, if he's going to flunk his test hopelessly, that will soon reveal things too. So, make your effort, record it, and say, look, have you done your reading for this? Record you asking him and following up, and you being a good parent. And then he'll obviously say what he's going to say is nonsense, and then you'll get the backup with the test. And if it turns out and he wants to say something, you say, look, I made an effort to try and get him to do this, but there you go. So, change your awareness, change your awareness.
Okay. All right.
And if the teachers and the principal don't know how this works, refer them to the book and say, here you go, read this book. This will tell you exactly what's going on.
Yeah. That's a good idea.
Let them learn, because a lot of people, it's too preposterous. Their brains can't handle what it is. They can't comprehend it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's quite amazing. It's outside of their reality, so they can't comprehend it. That's a very big problem. That's why you need that video, Yeah. They don't want it to be true. They don't want to believe that a nice, clean cut looking young man
can be this complete horror and terror. It's just awful truth. They just don't want to believe it. Yeah. So they have to learn the hard way. Yeah.
Yep.
But that's what I'm saying. If you press this thing with the homework, get your recordings, and then, well, tomorrow you've got the test, which is going to start the thing, and then say, hey, please make sure the teachers follow up on the homework. He's getting away with not doing his homework. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And that's that, because if they come and press him a bit on it, he's going to blow up. Yeah. Or
likely. He's likely to.
Yeah. I mean, he may, but I don't know if he has quite that amount of self-control just yet to be able to, when it actually comes to them pressing him to do something, because it's not about the test. I don't think he cares if he fails the test. He just doesn't want to do stuff, right?
Yeah, there's one of the things he does. Yeah, if he's not on the internet, with his laptop, if he's not on there, because I told him, and I believe in this fully. I think 2 hours of screen time for him after school is more than sufficient.
Oh yeah.
2 hours is more than sufficient, especially when you've got homework and other things to do, right? So when I told him that, he got really mouthy and upset. And when I enforced it and I said, no, 2 hours is plenty, you do have homework, yada, yada. No. So what he does instead of doing other things or his homework is he just goes to bed. He just goes to bed. So he's getting like 14 hours of sleep a night. Okay, sure. I'm not buying.
Well, that'll get old. That'll get old in a hurry. I mean, that only lasts for so long.
Yeah, and I'm not. I'm not buying. The whole thing is, that puberty is involved in this. Originally, I thought, sure, maybe, not now. No, now I see where it is 100% choice. He's in control of every single thing that he's doing. None of it's not in his control. He knows what he's doing. It's like he's
exactly.
Head.
Yeah. Oh, next time he's sure. Next time he's rude and abusive, maybe ask him, CJ, do you want me to send you back to juvie?
Yes, I asked him that last night. He told me, yes, please. And I said, well, then there's my phone right there. Go call your PO right now. Call the police. Tell them come get you, that you're done with this. And he's like, no. Why not?
Yeah, you call this bullshit. That was very good. So well, then they don't really want to go back because you're not willing to call them.
Like, there you go. Go ahead. Pick up the phone and call. Because, and he's like, well, he comes up with all these excuses, and he won't say why he doesn't want to be here. He won't tell anybody why. It's like, well, okay, you know what? I'm done with that, and I'm done.
It's just
with
bullshit.
this.
Just call it for what it is. Just say, well, there you go, more bullshit, right? And every time he comes, just say bullshit. When he says, oh, I want to go back, say bullshit. Just have this constant
you want to go back
of saying bullshit.
I can say bullshit. You want to go back? Go ahead and break your curfew, and they'll come.
And then he comes with excuses. You say bullshit. That's it. You just keep calling that word bullshit all the time. Say, you really think that we don't see this for the bullshit that it is, but we do. It's complete utter bullshit. You prove it.
Yeah.
If you meant that you want to go back, then you'll call them and say, please take me back. Just bullshit.
Oh, man. that's really gonna twist his pickle too, is when I just keep telling him that. But then I'll just say, you know what? That's the name of Phil's book.
Right. I mean, read the book if you want to know how this works. I said, come on, man. This is the thing. You're under this delusion that you're getting away with your bullshit, that nobody sees it. And it's a complete bullshit delusion. It's absolute nonsense. It's so clear and obvious that it's bullshit. Yeah. All you're doing is making yourself and proving to everybody over and over, CJ's a bullshitter. CJ's a bullshitter. Right? He believes he's getting away with it because nobody says that directly. You see what I mean? So in his bubble reality, but if you say bullshit, now you didn't get away with it, right? I mean, if you disagree, that doesn't mean that he hasn't gotten away with the bullshit, you see?
Yep.
Yeah, it's quite interesting. So let's keep calling it. Just keep calling it. Just keep calling it. That's it, So. And you say, well, if you don't like it, there's the PO. Call the PO. Go ahead. Let's see. And furthermore, I'm not going to necessarily wait for you to call him.
at some point, my patience is going to run out and I am going to call him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is very important that he realize, and that's his big thing, that, you know, when you say to him, you call, he that's his sort of hole in ace up his sleeve type of a deal, that he doesn't think that you will. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I will call. That's no problem.
Yeah, but the thing is, I know you will, but it's about him
yeah.
believing that you will. That's a different thing. See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I would really love to, one of the things that I want to ask the PO to do is go observe him in school, and then, you know, also pay a home visit here too. Now, here's the thing. When he comes to the house, he turns into a different kid.
Oh, absolutely. That's why you need the video.
He is the classic. And I'm talking like, if you can imagine CJ as an adult, where in front of other people, when people come to the home, they're all nice and they're polite and they're, you know, gracious hosts and all that. Yeah. Yep. And then
exactly
behind closed doors, yeah, then it's just this complete
the
night
Jekyll
and
and
day
Hyde
monster.
syndrome. Correct.
There you go.
So
Perfect.
So this is why you need the video to say, because
Yeah.
tell the PO, this is one of the classic symptoms of this type of abusive narcissism, that, you know, they make every effort to be the golden person, you know, the ideal person in public, but in private they're horrible, right? And this is just the video. So, you know, this doesn't help. The inspections don't help because he just puts best foot forward, right? So it's the behind the scenes. Yeah. So that's why you have to have that video. It's why you have to have that video. Yeah.
Well,
it's
I'll just
absolutely
have to
essential. Yeah. There's no other way around.
Put that in my brain reminder that, you know, when I pick them up today, just start the video.
Always beforehand, right? And, you know, you flip the phone, right? So that, and then if you let the phone time out, especially if you don't, well, some depends on the app. If you leave it on top, like Zoom, if you leave it on top, then it stays on. But if you bring that, well, I don't know what you call that little button, right? Where it shows you the list of all your open apps. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Right. So if you put it as part, and you know, you have it's on your screen, it's showing, like, you know, the 3-4 apps that are open, and you can pick one. If you put it like that, then the screen timer will come on. Like in my case, it comes on after 30 seconds, and the screen goes black.
Yeah.
You see? And that way, you know, well, you're going to turn the camera around and the back is showing. But even if you have it the other way around, even if it's showing from the front, the screen is black, but it's still recording.
Yeah.
Well, it
might
not. You'll have to experiment a bit. But either way, you know, just play around with the things and get the hang of it. And then, you know, to get it to record without him seeing that it's being recorded. Because then he'll also start putting his best foot forward. But you see, in the private situation, he has sort of, he's gone past that point where he sort of cares at home, because he doesn't think it matters. And of course, it did matter in the court case, right? So, so you may still behave full of shit even when he knows he's being recorded. But it's more that
he does.
That you wanted you. Yeah. What's that?
No, if he knows he's being recorded, he doesn't care. He'll just keep on going. Sometimes he stops what he's doing, you know, and then he'll be, and then after I turn it off, then he'll start back in again. But here's what here is my biggest challenge that I haven't been able to figure out. So when I say relentless, you pretty well know what I mean. Jessica does too. Relentless to the point of, if I move to a different room and even close the door behind me, he still continues on. So I can still hear his bullshit through the door. Okay. If I go outside, he has locked me out. Even when I take my keys, he puts the chain on the door, and there's a deadbolt on front and back door that doesn't have a key. So he has locked me out. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to tell you the ways that getting away from him is not possible.
Correct. And you got to record all the stuff, like when he has that chain on.
Let me finish.
Sorry, go ahead.
So getting away with him, from him, is not possible.
Correct.
I have tried. Now, here's the other part of it. You know, like I said, I can go outside, I can go to my room, I can go to a different part of the house, and he's going to keep coming. And even when I confront him and tell him, you know, what are you doing? It's not making any difference. Instead, you're just digging a deeper hole. So basically, any interaction I have with him,
what does he say to that? Sorry.
Whatever pops off of his head, you know.
Bullshit. Yeah.
But he will, you know, he'll do things like, good, you know, I'm glad I'm getting under your skin. Good, I'm glad it hurts. Good, I hope you die. Good, I hope this really makes you sick. I mean, just on and on and on, right? So my problem is he will needle and needle and needle and needle until I get to a point where I do respond. And I'm not responding, I'm reacting.
Exactly. And he knows it works.
That's what, and I know that. I know he knows it. But how in the hell do you stop from doing that? I mean, because still, this is every freaking day.
That's what I was saying, to be ruthless about caring.
You know, but what, okay. A person can only listen to that, like, for so many hours straight. Before you do react. I'm not a magician. I'm definitely not perfect. And after a while, that shit starts to wear on me.
I agree. And that's why, you know, to me, it's get your videos in order and send it back to Juvie. End the fucking story.
Well, it has to be.
I mean, there's he's taking every decision out of your hands.
Yeah, he is.
You feel guilty about sending him to Juvie. Well,
no, I don't. I don't feel guilty about it. I just want to make sure that when I do it, it sticks. Because I don't want
get those
his
videos
attorney or anybody coming back and I don't want anybody coming back and go, well, what if we give you home support? Really? You're going to move somebody in here? You're going to bring somebody else in to take care of him? Why do that? Why not just take him?
Exactly. I mean, what is home support going to do? You say he's doing this in private. At school, he's the golden boy because it's part of his manipulation technique. So, you know, this is not helping because it's in private that it matters. Yes?
Yeah. You know,
and it's part of his psychological condition.
Yeah, the ankle monitor is absolutely worthless. It's worthless. It doesn't do any good. It doesn't serve the purpose. They put it on because they were like, oh, well, he's a run risk. And it's like, so he can still run with it on. It doesn't matter.
Well, he can still abuse you with it on. It's not helping.
There you go. That's the thing. It doesn't make a difference. It's no deterrent to him. None. Now to any other kid, it would be. It truly would be. At least I know it was to Jessica, and I know it was to my older boy, because they both had ankle monitors. Both of them, they got it. They understood. They understood that, oh, wow, this is like next step up to jail. And they took that message seriously.
But he's not.
Later on, of course, they did some other things against me. No, they were pretty cool after that. This kid, he just does not get it. He doesn't care. He doesn't want to care. So, anyways, that's what I was saying is, that
it's taking the decision out of your hands.
Yeah, I mean, I know I know what I need to do. It's just now it's going to be trying to be, I guess, just on the spot enough. That's not the problem. Number one, it's trying to remember to not react and respond. And my respond will be, well, hit the record button.
And just switch off caring about what he says. Right? Switch that button right off.
I wish it were that easy.
I know, sure. I know it's not easy. I know.
I mean, if it was just the first couple of weeks, or if this was a one-off situation or something.
It takes energy to do it. It takes energy to do it.
I can handle that. But this has gone on for months. Months.
It takes energy to do it. Correct.
He's been doing this since last year.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we're
give him
looking
his
at
wish.
almost,
Give him his
we're
wish.
looking at a year's worth.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know what
This
happened.
truly sending him to juvie may be the best thing in his life, because if he feels that
Well, it
he needs
probably
to be
is.
punished, it's a way for him to clear his conscience.
Right. I just got to make sure that it sticks, though. That's the problem. I'm not
Yeah.
looking for an excuse to stall it. It's just when I call, I want to make sure that they know that, look, he's not coming back here. No, you're not going to take me to court. No, this is not my responsibility.
Gotcha. Well, get your evidence in line, and there you go. Be prepared. Right?
Yeah.
That's the key.
So,
That's the
and
key
that's
here, is having that evidence. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what it is. Is I need to,
especially that thing in the night with the door. You know, I mean, that's a big issue there. Yeah.
I'm glad that I had it locked.
Yeah, but I mean, to have that recorded where you know, and you can hear the rattling and all this, you know, it's like, come on, you know.
And honestly, at that hour, it just blows my mind. Not just the hour. That's not what I was going to say. He thinks he's so smart, but he can't figure out how to pop the lock on a door.
Exactly.
He hasn't figured that part out yet.
Yeah. Well, he hasn't figured out that he thinks he's smart. He's not really smart. Yeah.
No, he's not.
Yeah. I mean, it's just all bullshit. It's all stupidity. You know, it's all bubble rubbish nonsense. You know, and that's what he's going to learn. You know, as a hard lesson in juvie, because he's going to be at the bottom end of that ladder. You know, it's one thing if you go to juvie and you go in there and you're a big kid, you're the oldest kid, you're the biggest bully. Then you can still sort of, you know, make it work. But he's going to be at the bottom end of things. So he's just going to suck for him. So
yeah, and he thought 4 days sucked. Wait till he's there for 14 months, 4 years.
Exactly.
They can keep him there until he's 16 and then move him into adult population.
Exactly.
If they want to,
you know, at this point in time, you know, I'm saying it may be what he wants, because it will absolve him of all of his guilt for being full of shit, you know. So, and that's what's happened now. He's been really horrible. I mean, he's been abusive, and so he's got this big guilt debt and needs to get rid of it. So, okay, all right, fine. You know, this is what he needs. He's obviously not able to get out of it. So the best thing for him probably is to go to juvie. I mean, it sounds like it was a really good thing for Jessica, no?
It was. And then,
you know,
then she found drugs.
Part of, say again, sorry?
I said it was, and then she found drugs. So but jail was the best thing that happened to her. It truly was. It really, really woke her up and shook her hard. So
but even the drugs, you know. Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, no, she found out through jail that you lose more than your rights.
Exactly.
You know, you lose your dignity, you lose your humanity. They don't see people in jail as human. They have no compassion or empathy whatsoever.
Exactly. Also, he's aware of the drugs. I'd be surprised if he goes in that route, but it's also possible. But, you know, for Jessica, this was also a good route, that a necessity, right? That she realized that this isn't a solution either, right? In the end of the day, it's that avoidance of responsibility. That's the big issue here. He doesn't want it to, and that took a long time for Jessica to learn that lesson. Yeah. But now that she has learned it, it's incredible, right?
I thought modeling was going to help. I thought, you know, changing a lot of my stuff was going to help. I thought, you know, trying to understand was going to help. All of that. And it doesn't. And so I'm not going to say, well, you know, it was a waste of time. It wasn't. I learned a lot.
Exactly. You learned a lot.
The part that I do feel bad about is giving up. But
you're not giving up. You're not giving up. You're doing to send him now. It's not like, oh, it just happened that he went to juvie. You're going to send him there, which is an action on your part.
because you're not giving up. See, it's a deliberate behavior. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of, in your mindset, this is what you are doing to help him, not because you're giving up. It's a difference.
Yeah.
Very big difference, right? You are deliberately sending him there because it's needed that he goes there.
Yeah.
Not just for you, but for him, right? So also think of it from an attunement point of view. Yes?
How so? I'm trying.
Well, do you have any other option at this stage?
Put up with it until I die.
But do you really have this option to just put up with it? You don't have the energy to put up with it.
No, I don't have any more energy.
Exactly. And it's escalating. And like, you know, what does happen when he figures out how to pop the lock?
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's the part that scares me.
You have a responsibility, not just to you, but to him, for if he does cross the line and do something really terrible, how does this affect his conscience, his future in thing? He can't, if he does something like, and he injures you, or God forbid worse, right? I mean, this is something that is profoundly going to affect the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So when you think of it in those contexts, yes, that, you know, how is this that you can allow this to happen? In good conscience, you can't create a situation where his stupidity is going to cause him a great harm. See my point? It's not just for you that you're doing this.
No,
You're doing it to protect him from himself as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you think of things in that way, it all changes now. Yeah. You don't have a choice. From an attunement point of view, you have no choice.
I know. I hear you. I hear you. It's just going to take a little bit to, you know, absorb that particular mindset.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's me knowing that there's something that I have to do. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't mean do this today. You know, let it sit. You know, understand it. Really, you know, get the fullness of it to come in, and think of it from an ethical point of view. If he is in this bubble, if he does do something and you had the means to prevent it, well, you know, I mean, that if he does something serious, this is going to really fuck him up for the rest. He's already done something serious, but at least it's still in this context where, all right, you know, it's not going to be a lifelong consequence, right?
Right. Well, here's the thing. I mean, if he is successful of completing, you know, 90 days probation, then the charges get dropped, and you know, case is closed, and he goes on about his married life.
Right. But he's not capable of doing that, obviously.
Right. And if he's not successful, which is showing that he's not, no, the charges will stand and he will be charged.
Exactly.
So charged and sentenced. And I'm trying to impress that upon him, to let him know that this is what you are facing. You have no idea. What this means.
Again, try for repeat backs. Say, explain to me what happens if you go back, if you get recalled, if you don't pass your probation. What happens? Explain to me.
So instead of me telling him, have him tell me, and if he doesn't understand, then I'll say, well, then let me spell it out for you.
Exactly. But you know, when he starts to explain it, they say, "Wow, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going to happen, right?" If he doesn't, and if he does, then it's like he doesn't believe it, or you know, it's like then that's now at least you know that he's aware of it. You see.
Yeah.
So because to me, he just says, "Oh, I understand," but I don't think he really does understand. So you need that repeat back. Yeah. He needs to explain to you what are the terms of your probation, right? And you know what? You may this is where you may involve the probation officer. Have him come around, and then then you ask and have him explain to the probation officer, not the probation officer explain to him, but him explain to the probation officer, because now there's some pressure on him to do it, because he might just tell you, "Oh, bugger off, you know, I'm not going to tell you anything, you know what I need to." You see, he may not comply, But when the probation officer is there, that may put some leverage on him to comply. And if he doesn't comply, well, then you've got the probation officer right there to say, look, this guy just doesn't want to do anything. And, he's obviously demonstrating this inappropriate behavior. So it builds your case. It may not be enough to take him back, just him not wanting to say this, but at least it makes a good case, right?
Right.
So, and also just having the probation officer there will put a bit of scare in him, hopefully. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you explain to the probation officer, look, I want him to tell us what is the terms of his probation, the consequence if he doesn't do it, what he's supposed to be doing, everything. He's got to explain it to us, not us to him, because he just nods his head and says, I understand, but it doesn't seem like he does. We need proof that he understands, right? And so, yeah, it's something you can try. Have you met the probation officer?
Yeah, she's pretty weak.
Pretty weak. Oh,
she's weak. She's weak. She doesn't have in my opinion, no, she doesn't have that. She doesn't have that. She doesn't command a presence or a authority.
Yeah, it's not scary. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
She's the kind that reminds me that she would take somebody's hand and say, let's sit and talk about this.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Yeah. Did he connect with the dojo, the one that was himself a delinquent and did this guy ever talk to him, connect to him?
Nope. No, because TJ won't. He won't. He refuses to.
Yeah.
He quit. He quit Taekwondo. Just quit it. He's like, nope, not going back. Don't want to do anything with it. Nope.
Yeah, because this is, again, see, it's this awful truth that if he knows if that person does connect with him, he's going to have to face his own bullshit. And that's what he's doing now. It's everything. The bullshit is to get away from the awful truth.
Yeah.
All of it is that. That's why, it's why he doesn't even want to know about the consequences, because that's, again, avoidance of awful truth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I understand something too. Maybe you can try this to say, CJ, from my point of view, you scared as fuck about everything. I don't know if you can use that words with him or whatever, that. But anyway. Right. That's it. That's to me what's going on. You scared out of your skull about shit and you don't want to face this. And so you're coming with all of this bullshit. But of course, it's making it worse, not better. You got to deal with your fears. You can't run away from them. It's making it worse. Yep. I understand that you're afraid of the awful truth. The awful truth is that you've gotten yourself into shit and you've gotten yourself into a no-win situation, and that you've got to acknowledge the truth that you've been full of shit and boom, etc., etc. Right? And this is it about his fear, because I don't think that he might feel that it's not allowable for him within his brain that he can admit and acknowledge fear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or at least some kinds of fear.
And I'm wondering, no, I'm hearing you. I'm also wondering too, I'm not quite sure how to word this where it makes sense. Fear of losing my support. Fear of losing my care. Fear of pushing me over that edge of holy shit, grandma really does not care anymore.
Exactly. He wants to prove that. Right. Because here's the thing. Now you say, but why would somebody want to prove their worst fear? Because once it's realized, then you don't have to fear it anymore.
Okay, say that again.
Once your worst fear has been actualized, then you get out of dreading it. It's going to happen. You see?
Okay.
So the fear of it going to happen, that's an ongoing terrible thing. Once the worst happens, well, now I don't need to fear anymore. It's idiotic logic because, of course, now you've got the worst to deal with. You see? Does it make sense?
Afraid, so he's afraid that it will happen.
Yeah. But at the same time, he wants to make it happen so that he can be absolved from needing to fear it.
Okay.
It's messed up logic. I'm not saying this is sensible. I'm just simply saying it's bubble logic, right? Because you're living day in and day out with the fear and you get tired of the fear. It's like you and CJ, right? You don't want him to go to juvie, but you want to stop living in the stress all the time. So okay, well, now it's got to happen. It's to putting an end to the stress, right? So that's what, if you think of it in that sense, it sort of makes sense, the logic of it, right?
Yeah. Yep, it does. It does.
Yeah.
See, that's why I wanted residential treatment. I really did. But I can also see too their philosophy or their belief that he's not an appropriate fit for residential treatment right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so then why do I have to babysit an animal? And to be truthful, that's what he acts like, is an animal.
Yeah, exactly.
He does.
Right.
He
Right.
he gets mad and he starts punching things, and
exactly.
I told him I can't afford to, have his bedroom repainted for all of the chipped paint and everything. He's just made that a disaster.
Yeah, I filmed that.
I'm watching it and
recorded.
Yeah, and
all of it.
There's some the way he keeps his bedroom and lack of self-care. I see depression. I see anxiety. I see a lot of mental illness there. But he doesn't want that help. He wants it. He wants to live in it. All right, then.
Exactly.
You deal with it.
Exactly. Remember I was telling you about that smearing shit all over the cell.
Yeah.
Right. It's that when there is that extreme frustration and a refusal to deal with the awful truth, the psychology, it starts to make it even worse. Right? I mean, if you locked in a cell and you can't get out, the one thing worse is to cover your whole cell with shit and you have it all over yourself. But this is what they do, because they just at their wits' end. So because they don't want to deal with that awful truth, they refuse. So they make it worse. It's quite incredible. So
I know. It just blows my mind because it's so easy just to face it.
Exactly.
Yep, I'm afraid. I need some help getting over it.
Exactly. And I think this calling it to say, look, CJ, I understand you're afraid as fuck about everything. You've got tons of fears. And say, this is how I see it. It doesn't matter. Just I don't care whether you believe me or not, or think I'm saying it doesn't. I'm telling you what it is because I've been there, right? So this is not. There's no way of bullshitting out of this. I see it. I understand it, but I'm calling it now so that you can know that I know, right? Because you also may be afraid of people finding out that you're afraid. Well, I got news for you. They see it, right? I mean, this is again bullshit, right? So keep this bullshit theme going. That you can bullshit yourself that people don't see it, but they do. They don't say so necessarily, but they do. I'm acutely aware of it because I've been there, right? Jessica's been there. A lot of other people have been there, right? So you think it's all private and secret and all this? No, it's not. It's not. Right. So, but again, that relief though, this may help him, right?
He thinks it's a big thing that nobody can get into his head.
Right.
That's what he tells me. He's like, I'm not letting anybody into my head. Whatever. CJ.
Well, dude, you're so fucking obvious. It's like it's just not funny. It's like, come on, man. Really. I mean, it's
like you don't want anybody telling you
under this. Yeah. Right. So point this out to him. Say, look, you're under this illusion of privacy, and it's an illusion. It's a complete and utter illusion, right? That you think that you have this secret life going on. No. I've been there too. I thought the same thing, but people see through it. They can tell you exactly what the hell is going on, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's why he doesn't make sense. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's some stuff you can try. Stuff you can try.
Yeah, but I mean But I watched him on the basketball court the other day. I went to the rec center. He didn't want to work out, so instead he went over to the basketball gym to play with the other, play basketball or whatever.
Yeah.
And we're all these groups of kids. So not once did he approach any kid in there.
Yeah.
Not once.
Yeah. Because again, if he does approach them, so go ahead.
But I mean, he observed them, and I watched him watching these kids.
Yeah.
But he would not insert himself in the mix to, make a connection and, make an effort to be seen or, interact with these kids. And so I asked him when we got home, it's like, do you have a hard time making friends? And he goes, yeah. It's like, is there a reason? Is there something you think they're not going to like about you? No, I don't know what it is. I just don't like making friends. I want friends, but I don't like it. So then I got thinking about that, and I thought, it's because he's afraid somebody's going to see the real him.
Exactly. Exposure. This is, insecurity and narcissism and bullshit. It starts to create a hollow tower. And the more the tower grows, the more insecure that tower is, because you've got no foundation. So, of course, the insecurity leads to fear of exposure. This is the big issue.
Fear of exposure. Okay.
Right. Because it's on insecurity, because there's no realness there. And that's what he is afraid of, the exposure. That's why he makes this claim, oh, nobody can get into my head. This is his wish that nobody can get into his head. It's not the reality.
Okay.
It's
and
the
that
wish.
Makes sense why that's why he quit Taekwondo, fear of exposure.
Exactly, because that guy there knows exactly what's going on, and he sees it, so he can't risk that, right?
Right. Okay. Right. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
But then also point out that, look, dude, this is a hollow fear that goes nowhere. You're so afraid of exposure. You believe exposure is the worst possible thing when it's actually not.
Yeah, because everybody already sees
it.
All
Rid
you
of
have
the
to do
fear.
is acknowledge it.
Right. 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 I mean, the only way to get rid of the fear is to basically deal with it. And once you do, then there's no fear. It's not it's not this terrible end of the world that you think it is. It's not at all.
Yeah, name it. Yeah, just naming it. Naming it.
Exactly. Confronting it, facing it, and dealing with it. When you do that, it turns the awful truth into the awesome truth. It gives you power, it gives you strength, gives you solidity, gives you realness, and you're not living this lie all the time.
Yeah.
There's no need to live the lie. That's why I just want to make friends, because it'll expose the lie.
Okay. All right. That does make a whole lot of sense. I thought it was something that was that I did not let go of what I saw. And I was perplexed. I was trying to figure it out. It was fascinating to watch. How can one kid stand there in a crowd of other kids and almost become invisible?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just, it was the wildest thing ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I find it fascinating when I saw it all. It's like, okay, there's something there. So I didn't want to let it go.
I mean, he's got a lot of awful truth that he wants to hide. I mean, he's behind in his development. That childish side of his is there. That's why that friend of his at school, the one that welcomed him back, was such a gift. If he can maintain that, probably he hasn't, right?
No, he probably hasn't. I'm almost pretty certain he hasn't. I don't even ask him about his school day anymore. I pick him up, and we pretty much stay in silence. I determined. I was trying to decide this morning: am I going to ask him any more about his homework? Do I even want that energy? Do I want to do anything? I could go the route of, you know what? I only have to provide you with the basics: the food,
exactly.
water, get you to school, pick you up from school, and call it good. The rest is on you.
Yeah.
But then he gets what he wants, which is me not caring.
Yeah. But just say, look, I can't stop caring. It's not possible. This is how
caring,
I'm
but
caring.
Here's my rules. Yeah, and if you don't like my rules, well, then I'm going to have to say it. There's the door.
Yeah.
Go find your way to probation yourself.
Yeah, and that's part of my caring. Part of my caring is doing what's right for you, whether I like it or not. The moment he realizes that, oh, shit, she's going to do what's right. In other words, he understands your impeccability. I don't think he's quite grasping that just yet. Yes?
Oh, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
So, but repeat this. Say, put it up on the wall. I will do what's right, whether I like it or not.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to write that
like
down.
That. Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh,
I will do what's right, whether I like it or not.
Oops. Hold on, I'm slow.
No problem. No
Okay.
problem. I got
I
patience.
will do what's right.
I will. Emphasized will. Yes.
Yeah,
I will do what's right, whether I like it or not. Yeah.
I like it or not. Okay.
Yeah. And then you can add on a second point there if you want to say, my impeccability and my integrity demands this. Demands this.
Yeah. Integrity demands it. Here's the thing. When I was raising the kids and they were doing things, drugs, stealing,
Yeah.
being
Yeah.
incorrigible kids. I had to call the police and I had to turn them in. I turned in Jessica's brother Jeff. I turned him in for meth.
Yeah.
The second time I turned him in, he went to jail for 18 months. I mean,
Wow.
he missed out on a lot, but he did. He went to jail for 18 months and then had probation for, he was sentenced to 5 years and he served 18 months and then they put him on probation for the remainder of the 5. That really turned his life around. Of course, he got into alcohol, but he turned that around too. I called the police on Jessica twice. Called the police on my older son, CPS. I mean, I did the right thing, even though it hurt a lot.
Wow.
And my kids were mad at me for it for a long time.
Yeah.
Is that what's stopping me now from calling? No, I just know right now that I know the way that. The way the system is. Well, no, the way the system is right now, it's pro kid. It isn't pro adult.
Correct. That's why I need those videos.
Yeah. Especially when like this morning, I read this stupid meme. I don't like them, but I read this meme about, well, you're going to be spending time with your kids, whether you're dealing with their behaviors because of lack of time or, helping them love themselves. I don't remember, but I was like, where are you people getting off blaming parents and caretakers all the freaking time for the condition of kids? It's not always the adults.
I mean, because unfortunately, so often it is all in the parents,
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a tough situation to discern what's really going on. I mean, look at like with your parents or your father, especially, right? I mean, people thought he was a nice, wonderful guy. Huh?
Yeah. Oh, he had everybody cool.
That's why you need the video. That's why we're in a different age now. When you grew up, video wasn't an option. It is now.
No, it wasn't.
It's going to change. It's going to change the world when people like you, and also with children, right, where they start using video because they've all got phones now, or neighbors or whatever, that to record the secret behavior. Yeah, this is.
He is so angry at me for taking away the phone. He is just furious about that.
Yeah.
I keep reminding him, a phone is a privilege, and you have not earned that privilege.
Exactly.
You haven't shown me that you're mature enough to have a device of that magnitude. You can play with a laptop. It's a Chromebook that he has. It's not an actual laptop. It's like it's a Chromebook. So you've got your Chromebook, and that's good enough.
Oh yeah.
But you don't need a phone.
Oh yeah, and remind him. Say, look, if you go back to Jewy, you got none of this shit.
No, none of it. He didn't even get the internet.
I mean, are you forgetting this? Are you forgetting this? You're complaining about this shit. You want to go back to Jewy? You say you want to go back to Jewy, and are you going to have any of this shit there? It's like, come on, man. Stop with the bullshit now. It's just bullshit.
They actually make them wear orange jumpsuits and orange Crocs. Boxers that somebody else has worn, socks that somebody else has worn, that kind of thing. So how does he know that anything's clean? Their mattress is basically like, the thickness of a carpet, and that's about it. I mean, it's not a nice condition. They do not spare any. Yeah, they don't give them any frills. Nothing.
Yeah.
They don't get a chair. There's no bathroom in their room. It's a bed, and yeah, it's a bed, a door with a very small window, and that's about it.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Hold on one second here. Can you go on YouTube right now? Oh, why is this say Soldanada?
And do what?
And go to my channel there. Oh yeah, hold on. I'll send it to you. Hold on. I'll message you. Okay. Because you'll see in a second here now. Hold on. I'll give you a link. You just click the link. I don't know if it is live yet or not, but I'm setting up a live stream, and I can set it as unlisted.
Yeah.
Which this would be fantastic, because this will give you tons of recording time. Okay,
yeah.
So I don't think it's to set the time. Okay, select. Well, what is today? What is the time now? Let's see if we can do this right now. See, I don't think I'm live just yet. You see, I'm just setting up the live stream. So
right, no, I get that.
So you don't see anything on my channel right now, right?
No, it just says live stream offline.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I'm gonna set it for 9:15. I'm just testing this, right? So I'm gonna put it under way of impeccability. Done. Okay, so it says save, and I save it. All right, so now we just have to wait until 9:15, and then we see what happens, right?
But is it public or is it private?
Well, it's unlisted, because private has still got problems. So it's unlisted, which means that only people who have that link will see it.
Okay, all right. Just making sure.
So what this advantage of this is that you can set up a live stream, for a few minutes, like you get in 15-minute increments, like I just did now, right? I don't know. There probably is a way to say go live now. I don't know. I just clicked on the button that said live there under content, and it gave me the option to set it up. But nonetheless, if this works and you can have a live that's unlisted, this will give you storage capacity, unlimited storage capacity. They'll probably only let you run for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours or 6 or maybe 8 hours or something. There'll be a limit on, and then you'll have to start again, right? But that will give you a tremendous ability to basically just put it on, like on the laptop, right? You put it on, you let it record, and this is it. It's not filling up your hard drive.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
And that's fantastic. That's fantastic. Yeah. So I just wanted to test this. If there was that possibility, this will save you a lot of hassle in terms of recording, having to upload it to YouTube, because it takes time to upload and all this stuff, right? So it's just a pain in the ass. But to be able to do it like that will be very, very, very helpful. That will be very helpful. Yeah. I wonder if I could have picked the time. I picked it from the preset time. I wonder if I could have set the time. Let's see. Let's go back to the time. You understand where I could have said, just it defaults the time. Oh, maybe I didn't use the date. It went back to 12 a.m. What is the date today? 24th?
I don't know.
Yeah, 25th already.
I just know it's a Wednesday.
So January 25. And yeah, see, let's see if I can set this for 9:10. You see what I mean, Sher?
Okay.
I'm typing in the time. Okay, so let me save it. It went 9:10. We have trouble saving your video. Verify, retrying in 5 seconds. Crap, because it went to 9:10. So let me try and set it to 9/11. You know, yeah, now it won't save it. All right, it won't save it. All right, so let's try this again. 9/11. Is there a different save button here down below? Maybe. No, it's just up the top there. Okay, so you know, I want to see if you can custom set the time, because then you set it 1 minute ahead. You know. It unfortunately went to 9:10 before it had finished saving it. So yeah, it's not letting me save it. So all right, let's try it again. Let's try it this time. What is it? 9:10. I want to try 9:12 now. You know, 2 minutes out. Yeah, no, it doesn't want to do anything. Yes, I don't know what's up with it now. Anyway, we'll just have to wait for 15 then. It just may be that.
Maybe it just does it like right on the moment. You know, that's
yeah.
Like, oh, you're gonna go live?
Yeah.
No, okay, yeah, we're gonna make you go live.
Well, it may be because I'd already set it and it was trying to change it. But see, it just comes back to like 12 a.m. It doesn't have the 9:15. So I don't know what's happening. All right, well, let's keep fiddling with it till we see. So
Yeah.
I mean, at least I'm pretty sure it can be done, which is you know, that's important. So
right.
yeah. I mean, maybe this was, you know, I mustn't schedule it. I must just find out where to go live now. And I never used live before. So, and then, you know, set it as unlisted, right?
Right.
Because I was in the channel content button and not in, okay, let's go to my home channel and see. Okay, customize channel, manage videos. Where's the live button? Yeah. I don't see a live button here. You know, I'm on where it says my channel, you know, and it says home. Well, let me screen share and I'll show you. We can learn together. Right. So I'm looking at this screen now. Let's make this full screen so we can see better. All right. So you see, I don't see a button for live here. Yes.
I'm looking.
Yeah. What is EOS? Oh, videos. Oh, okay. Home, short subscription, these all videos, what's later, show more.
Give a chance.
Here we go. Here we go. It's under explore on the left-hand side here. You see it? Live.
No, because you're I don't get your screen. I don't get the whole thing.
Oh, just swipe it a little bit to the left side. Try that.
I did.
Oh,
I did.
Okay. Hold on. We can make this work. Do you see the left-hand side of it now? You do?
Yeah, I do.
You see where my cursor is?
Yeah.
It was in this left-hand column. I had to scroll down to get there. You see? There's all of this stuff here. So okay. So there is a live button, yes. So if I say live now. These are what is live now, not me going live. Oh, okay. All right. So that's not it either. All right. That's what I was worried about, that it might be. Okay. So other than this now, if I go, I don't know if this is YouTube's home or my home. I don't know. Well, we'll see in a moment. Yeah, it's YouTube's home. So that's not what I want. So I'm gonna go back to, you know, I'll click on my icon top right and it says your channel. And I go, yeah, and I think I have
Studio.
Yeah. Customize channel, manage videos. But I think if I click on, no, it's not that. Okay, well, customize channel. Let's try this, which is studio.
Because what? Studio doesn't work?
Yeah. You see, this is how I got there before. I went to this YouTube channel and I was in content, which is just, that's where I default. I just always here, because this is where all the things are showing. See, and then I clicked here on live.
Right.
And you see, it says Sildenada live stream. But I don't know, this was an old one. It was there already before. I don't know, from 2017. So maybe I got to just delete this and start a new one, delete forever. Because I modified that, you know, so.
Okay.
So I guess that's showing me of lives that I had saved, but I don't know where to go live. All right, well, let's see. Maybe it's up under. Oh yeah, it's okay. Look, Sher, you can see the top here.
Bottom, tap create and then go live.
Oh right, yeah, and create and then go live. Do you see it where my cursor is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So go live.
It says create and go live.
Right. Welcome to YouTube. Go live right now. Go get set up on a live stream now. Don't worry.
Later date.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, it says, don't worry. You'll have a chance to review settings. That's what I want to see. I want to see right now. Right. Built-in webcam, no setup, streaming software. That's, I guess, a Zoom or whatever. All right. Well, we'll just say this. Built-in webcam. So I've got to give the permission. Yes. All stream settings all in one place. Details. Okay, well, I'm not going to give it a name now. I'm not going to bother with that. Oh, they're going to ask it. Okay, so I'll just put it as test. And
yeah,
I mean, in your case, you probably do want to have this, you know, say, give it a title. Okay, you know, CJ morning 23 December, whatever, you know, 25 January, whatever. Okay, so customization, live chat replay, suppose anyone, subscribers, who can send messages, message delay. Okay, so that doesn't really matter. Visibility, here we go. We can do unlisted live, right? And then, yeah, select the time and date you want to go live, which, well, okay, it says 9:15. It's already 9:17. Let's see if we go live right now. I'll have to send you a new link now because it's unlisted. So stream preview, okay, and then it says go live. Oh, let's go live. This will save you a lot.
Yeah.
A lot of time and hassle. It may be my internet connection is very slow, and that's why it's taking a long time to go live, you know, just to get that connection. So. And maybe it can't access the camera because it's being used by Zoom. That happens too, and the mic, you know. So.
Yeah.
So it's going live. All right. Well, something to experiment and test with, you know. I mean, I'll keep at it here, but I don't think this is going to click out until I stop Zoom, I suspect. And then I may have to reboot the computer because sometimes they don't play together, you know.
Right.
But still, nonetheless, though, it does seem like you can go live unlisted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can maybe just how to go live unlisted on YouTube. Yeah. Or even private, you know. But private, I forget, there was something with private. Like with private, you will still show up in search, but you don't care really, so it doesn't matter. So hardly likely somebody's going to search for that. So there was some limitation with private, and I don't remember what it was. But anyway, you can just search going live, private, or unlisted, because it will record it automatically for you, and that's the key here. It's a direct thing, and once you get the setup and you're familiar, it's quick. You know, it's relatively quick. So it's well worth your while, you know. So to know how to do this, yeah. So yeah, I just think it won't do it now because we're on Zoom, and Zoom is holding up the. You know, it can't find the camera and stuff like that. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to be scooting. I got
Yeah,
a bunch of
okay.
stuff I gotta get done this morning.
And also, you're not limited to Mondays and Wednesdays. You come anytime you want to talk about stuff. Yeah.
I know.
All
I
right. I'm
appreciate
just
that.
saying. I'm just saying. That especially when you're low energy, it helps to sometimes just have that company a little bit, just to talk about stuff.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I have to go
Just
start with my patio.
strategize and plan and get your stuff, your ducks in a row, So,
Yes.
but pay attention to attunement. I don't think you have much choice here.
No, I don't.
You didn't have the first time. You had the out of the ankle monitor and him coming home and being on probation. This is not making one whit of difference now. But I do feel that it's essential for him to explain what and say, to do that, absolutely communicate what is probation, what are the terms of your probation, what will happen if you fail the probation. If he says it, this is going to be, it may be hard for him to get him to say that. He may just refuse. That's why, the probation officer or some other pressure on him to say that. But it's very important to demonstrate that he understands, because I don't think that it's there really. He says he understands, he thinks he understands, doesn't really. But when he spells it out, that's going to come home front and center, smack him in the face. Yeah. He'll have to face it then. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll let you know when I end Zoom now. I'll let you know what's happening with the live. Yeah. So maybe I'll send you a link if it does go live once I end Zoom. I'll send you a link and we'll test it. All right. Wonderful. You're not alone, Sher. You're not alone. Brilliant. Let me end this. There's my screen share now.